whatever.
More of a hike.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's a long one. I do that one too.
A longer walk.
That's about 6 miler. I'll do
Um,
that one too.
Speaking of Dick Blick, you said you got your new sketchbook or your Fabriano book?
Yeah, right here.
Which book is it? I mean, which Blick is it? The Pasadena store?
Yeah, this is the one I got. 1264. I think that's when the company actually came out and started making paper.
Wow.
It might even be older than that. I don't know.
I went onto the Blick site and was searching for that, and they said that that isn't available online at this time. So I guess you just
Oh.
have to go into the store to get it if we want it.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't
how I
have it
got
on
it. I saw it
Amazon
online.
either.
I didn't know if it was available, but I went to the store and there it was. And I thought, oh, I'll give this a try. Because it's 110 pounds. So that's a bit thicker than what I was using before. I have to say it's working pretty good. I mean, here's some things I've been doing. That's pretty watery.
Oh, nice.
That's watery, and that's, see, here, I'll show you this way.
Ooh,
This is
nice,
the other
Rob.
night in class. Some of you are in the class. It's pretty watery, and that's gouache.
wow.
And that's, I taped off the edges, but that's pretty thick, and it's flat. I mean, it's not totally flat, but I can flatten it. So it's working out pretty good.
It was started in 1264 in the little town of Fabriano in Italy.
Oh,
Fabriano is the name of the town, and I think if you Google it, you may get a little documentary on
yeah.
the paper, the history.
When I was in Italy, I went to the Fabriano warehouse,
Yeah.
and it was very, very interesting to see how they made the paper.
I think
Wow.
they discovered sizing.
I think it's the oldest paper company, I think, that makes watercolor paper anyway, I think.
It's probably the best paper you could buy.
I mean, I've used it, and there's a few things I don't like about it, but there's one variety I used one time, and it was the best I ever used, and I could never find it again. I mean, because I like a natural kind of texture to my paper. I don't like ridges that look synthetic, so they'll be in lines, and I get that quite a bit out of Fabriano paper, and I don't like that. But there is a variety of their paper that it must have been their really highest quality or something. I don't know what it was, but I used that paper, and I thought, okay, this is the paper for me. And I can never find it again. So maybe I just need to do a little more research.
Can
I've been
you
kinda
lazy
show
about
us the front of
There
that?
is a kind of Fabriano that is Fabriano Artistico. And
Oh,
it's quite different than just straight Fabriano. So Fabriano Artistico is much higher quality, and it's
maybe that's what I was using. I just really like the results I got of it. Very delicate edges I was getting on it, and I felt like I could do no wrong. And this paper was showcasing my work, and I was loving it. And then I couldn't find it again. And I just thought, oh, maybe I just had good luck on the painting, and I kind of wrote it off. So I never really researched it again. But that was many years ago, many moons ago, shall we say. Okay. 20
Record. Don't forget to record, Rob.
I know. Let's record. And then I have another thing I'm going to do today, because I know these recordings are getting big. I mean, a lot of gigabytes here. So what I'm going to do when we do the crit, I'm going to turn the HD off because the crit actually comes, it's not through the camera, it's a screen share, and it's already pretty high resolution, so there's no reason to really be on HD when I'm doing that. So if you can remember, I got a big message right here. I've got this big message right here telling me to turn off my HD video when that comes on, and hopefully that can make the video smaller. So if anyone can remember to tell me, I mean, hopefully I'll remember to look at my own notes, but It's always helpful when you
Rob?
guys help me. Yeah. Yes.
You know, I recorded a Zoom last night and I sent it to somebody. It was so you. How do you send your
I
3-hour
can't,
videos?
you're breaking up there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
I
not,
wondered
it's not,
how
it's your
you
record,
send a
your
video.
voice is breaking up on the, on your, I don't know, it must be your bandwidth or something. Try to say that
Okay.
again,
Yeah.
please?
Not important. Not important.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Sometimes it gets really, okay, so do we all have our videos off? And we're muted too, good. Well, we only have 25 people in here. Okay. You know, oh, I have one more thing I want to say really quick. While this is on my mind, I am toying with the idea, and I'll run this by the Huntington, so because I don't want to step on their toes, but 6 weeks is not a very long class for that portrait. And I'm thinking about continuing it on Fridays on my own. I don't know if I can handle it, but I'm going to try. And so let me know your thoughts. You don't have to tell me right now, but let me know your thoughts on that eventually. Just think about it. And we've got 3 weeks till the end of that class, but I wouldn't mind continuing. And I wouldn't mind actually doing a class that isn't just portraits, but maybe figure, like the figure in settings and things like that. Figure in settings and portraits. So think about that. Okay. And I also want to start including the figure more in what we do here. Figures, we've done them, urban things and stuff like that.
So Rob, are you thinking about Friday morning?
Yeah, the Friday morning slot. Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Friday morning from 9 to 12.
You may check the chat where already you got a few votes.
Oh, I already do. Well, 11 messages. Oh my gosh. 13.
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
I just watched it go up to 13. No way. Okay. 14. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I agree. I didn't write in chat though.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I wouldn't mind continuing that, but I don't want to step on their toes. I mean, so I'll run that by them. I mean, I don't want to, I'm mentioning it to you all, and I could just use, you know what I mean? If I say that in my portrait class, that might irritate them. So I don't know what the situation is over there right now. We'll see. And so I had written down in my little notes that we'd do falls today. And then I saw this shot. And guess where I saw this shot? This is not from a photograph. I have got this great computer now with a and my monitor is 4K. And I actually took this screenshot off a video. Can you believe that? I mean, unreal. So I can get a lot of my shots off videos now. So, we'll change it up. Okay. Let's do a quick value thing here. And why does that keep blurring on me? That's not right. Let me see, hold on a second. Do I have my autofocus on? Okay, let's see. And why don't I just zoom in on that? Well, that word zoom has changed. Okay. Here we go, sorry. Okay. And I like this really high horizon. Basically, we could just draw a line right across the top with some really long clouds. Maybe I'd like to put in there. They don't have to be a big deal. And so I'm going to come down here, very horizontal piece. In fact, I think I'm going to add a little bit more onto this horizontally. I've got this eraser right here. Why do I even have this eraser anymore? It's one of those really hard pink ones that, they get hard after years. I think that's my wife's. It says School Smart. How did that get in my eraser thing? Because I know if I put that down here, it'll just smear everything. Okay. Enough complaining. All right, we got this. And then we've got this little kind of rocky outcropping. And something else down there. Some switchbacks where you have trees, like trees in front of trees here, in front of other trees. And then we have the edge of the falls, and I'm just going to like there. This dark land in the foreground here. And something in there. And then, boy, are we going to learn how to do mist today. All kinds of mist. All right, I don't have blackout, so I'm going to do Prussian blue and red, cad red. Mix up a whole big bunch of it. Makes a nice black or something, sometimes a little bit violet, which I still like. Okay, and I'm just going to, if you squint your eyes and look at this whole mass right here, it's pretty dark, these trees. Even though there's light spots in it, compared to the sky, it's pretty dark. And come down to this little rock. It's a rocky thing down there. And while this is on my, while it's on my brush, we're getting into some of the stuff up here in the foreground. That's pretty dark there. I'm just going to add water to it. And then through here we have this like very blue-green water. So definitely the Prussian. Oh, why am I thinking color already? Whoops. See? Here I go again. Sorry about that. So easy to get mixed up. All right. All right. Just value, Rob. Just value. And then just come straight down like that, straight down, straight down. And then add a whole bunch of just straight water like that, just water. And that'll lighten it all up and give you nice soft edges. Let the water do the work. This is very light. This is almost pure white in here. I probably should have done that back here too. Okay, we'll just take it right out. I like how abstract that looks. Was I just complimenting myself right in front of class? Great job, Rob. You know, it's hard not to be in a good mood with a day like this. I can't believe, man, it is just amazing outside. I'm going to get out in this. Maybe I'll do a little walk, a little watercolor walk after class. I'll be all warmed up. Wouldn't that be great? We should do that as a class. Let's do a watercolor walk. You know, South Pass is just very picturesque. I could go down and paint the library. There's the coffee shops. There's just people walking down the streets. You don't have to be indoors with this COVID all the time. All right, that's good enough. Let's get to that color. Oops, wrong one. All right. Here we go. Pretty much very kind of straight there. And pick about how far down you want to go. You know, if this is halfway, this is way up here. Wow. As far as that picture goes. I think I'm making mine more horizontal, that's why. All right, so I'll bring this down here a little bit more. Not thinking too much about composition. Composition's pretty much there. There's my little rock. Maybe I might even want to draw a couple of lines where I want that steam this time. Or that waterfall mist. So just on the top, where it falls, you get all these little switchbacks. See, it kind of comes out in the foreground and then it comes back. And then you have this sort of land right there. And something at the base, some little rock right there. And then it just falls. In fact, I think I should probably make this a little further down. Get more fall out of it. It's just the falls here. So my rocky sort of outcropping. So the falls are kind of coming down, 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 and then mist. Okay. And I'm going to go with a more violet in the sky, even though that looks like a greenish blue. I think I'm going to go with a more violet. So that's ultramarine blue I'm using. I mean, you can gray yours more if you like. I know it's a little grayer than that. And then while this is still wet, I'm going to add a little water right here, just water, because I want that mist coming right out of my piece right here. So I'm just going to add water to it, blot that. And then we've got a lot of orange and red. It must be fall. I put that together, you know, all by myself. Yeah, I'm gifted in that way. I can tell by looking at the leaves that they're that's where it's the fall time. I know. Okay, so let's go for some crazy reds and oranges in there. Just plop them in. I don't care if it gets all wet into wet at the top. There's some yellowy things happening in there too. I'm going to throw in some. Ooh. There we go. Some cad yellow maybe. Pretty dark too. And again, it gets kind of misty in some areas, so I'm just gonna just take water. Isn't it funny we're painting water with water? Okay. And okay. Some darks at the base there. Especially in the base. Really get some darks in there. Probably throw yourself some greens in there too if you like. A little cad yellow and your Prussian blue make a really good green. And then different amounts. If you add little touches of red to it, you know, you'll get like a sap green. If you add lemon to it, you'll get some like a Kelly kind of green. And then for the blue here, I'm just going to use Prussian blue, like straight Prussian blue if I can. Maybe even add a little bit of yellow once in a while. I would add a lemon yellow to it, just when you want it like green, like where it comes over the falls here. But it gets quite deep. Yeah, like that here, right around there. It gets pretty. Just as it's ready to fall over, it gets kind of dark. And then, like I think right up in here, yeah, like right down in there, we can hit a little bit of yellow in that. Just straight lemon yellow, and there we go. Adding water to it so it doesn't dry. Now I'm going to add a whole bunch of water. All this. If you notice, the water even has a light and a shadow side to it. The mist, can you see it? The mist is lighter on the right side, and down here toward the bottom, it gets a little bit violet. It's subtle. It might only be about a half a value or so, but it does get a little bit. So I used ultramarine in that. I bet you could probably shoot a little bit of magenta into that too, if you like. down here at the bottom of your mist. Makes for some beautiful watercolor color. Does that make sense? I didn't think so. But I said it anyway. And I said it proudly. Okay. Some horizontal things there. And we'll go for some really good bright lights at the top here. I'm gonna hit that with my, yeah. Yeah, but can you see the mist gets, it's not just one value. It gets a little bit darker here and there. Okay, and then over some of this rocky stuff here in the foreground. Definitely get some greens. Again, the Prussian blue. I'm gonna use the cad yellow and the Prussian blue for some of those greens in there. And then if you add a little red to it, that gives you kind of a natural green. Some dirt colors in there too. A little orange in it. Cad red, cad yellow. And there's a couple of shots of like really red orange in there. Just really hit it. And that's all the color count's supposed to be for, is just what are you going to use for color? You're not really making necessarily a painting, although sometimes they come out better than the painting. Because your mind's in a different place, maybe you're not thinking about it too much. Some darks in there too, foreground. I didn't even put my little rock in there, did I? Of course, it looks really hard edge until you take a little water into it. And there we go. There's mist. Mr. Mist. We'll come down into the shadow sides of some of this this mist. I want to get into the violets in that because it's a nice little change from all these other colors. The ultramarine and magenta would give you a nice kind of violet down here in the shadow side of the mist, down here too, in the foreground. There's a little bit of land coming through there, but it's way too hard edge. So I just come in and soften the edge with a little water. All right. And even the waterfalls, the front of the waterfall almost comes out pure white, but as it turns the corner and goes in, kind of goes into shadow. The water and the foam kind of goes into shadow, so you might get some darker areas as it goes into shadow. Blues, kind of blue-gray if you like. if you just throw a little bit of orange into your blue-gray, I'm sorry, into your blue, it'll turn gray. Some of that. And again, I just take a little water and mist that out. Nice darks at the front there. I don't know why it gets really dark right there, but just as it turns. Good place for them. All right, nice little color. I'd like to frame that, baby. It's fun. All right, I'll use this for my color. Now I'm gonna go.
Rob, could you put those two back up in the screen for just a second for this beginner?
Sure. Hold on a second. Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you screenshotting that?
Yeah, I know.
It's not a bad idea. Let me do that too. Screenshot. All right. And here. Okay. I taped around my edges today, just for fun. Sometimes I do it. Okay, so I'm going to give myself that. Sometimes I just do a straight line first just to see where I want my horizon around there. And then, you know, if you feel like,
Is there any way you can make that darker? It's really hard to see the lines.
like that,
Great, thank you.
sure. We have this mist coming up over here, right over there. So I like to know where's the halfway point, about there. So if you go on the halfway point, wow, it's way up here. The bottom of all this. Kind of a straight line there, then I'll come up. Kind of another straight line. And then there's just stuff and atmosphere. So this would be, you know, like your first little landmass of trees there, and then you could do the same thing here. You don't have to follow it perfectly, but at least it kind of tells you that you have levels of value, and then back here it's a little lighter. So we could make that a little bit lighter. And so the second one actually comes right to where the falls start. And it looks to me like if this were halfway in the piece, it's a little further than halfway, maybe to there. And then just to judge it, we could go like that, and then like that, and then like that. I mean, now that's ridiculous, but I mean, we've got the simplicity of it now. And then watch, I can come over here with this rocky thing right here and just kind of go, instead of hitting all the little divots in it, just go like that. And maybe you have a little rock thing over there. And then let's say right over here's that. So then our little rocky outcropping over here is way somewhere in there. You know, so now that I have those guidelines, they're sort of ridiculous. I'll just lighten them up, and then I can draw my little falls. And okay, so I know as the fall, cause it does sort of come round like that. So we got another little divot in here, and it kind of goes round, and there's just a whole bunch of them. So many of them that I'm not going to do them all, but I do like right in here where we get a nice little shadow in here, which can be very effective. So I'm just going to make a note that there's a little kind of a cast shadow from this fall right here, casting over the stuff right here that's facing downward, 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 and then we come around like in that way. And then we have this one over here that just sort of thrusts forward like that. And a lot of times I just make this up with the brush because, you know, you'll have all these lines in it. If you don't want the lines, just make it up with your brush. I feel like I draw better with the brush anyway. And we got a big crash right there and all kinds of suds right there. And then maybe in here for some white things, some little wave rapids. That's what they're called. You know, they're called rapids. I knew that. See, I'm just a wealth of information over here. Wait, I'm tooting my own horn, huh? Shouldn't do that. I was taught to not do that. Okay. All right. And then our rocky thing up here, we could just kind of anything we like, some rockiness, which then just flows into mist. And there's sort of a rocky thing happening down here. I don't know what that's all about, but it's not much. Not much to mention, so I'm not going to. What do they say? Sometimes it's better to keep your mouth shut and let them think you're dumb. I don't do that enough. Hence, no. Okay. Boy. Oh, goody. Here comes the fun stuff. Are you ready?
Now, Rob,
Oh, what? I'm just joking. Yeah.
when we did the color study, you didn't start by wetting the paper first. And
Yeah, that's fine.
I was, and it's great the way you do the falls, but looking at this photo, I thought, oh, we're going to do this wet on wet for the mist. So
Yeah.
I was curious. So you could do it wet on wet. That'd be a different approach, but in any case, just a thought.
Yeah, I think we'll do a lot of wet on wet here, but like for instance, right here, I might for that. Well, we could do some. Let's just go wet into wet. Let's do that. And you know, if stuff gets out of control, we'll just lap it up with the good old rag. This will be fast. Okay, so I'm going with the. Now, do you think we should wet the whole paper first? We could do that. A lot of times I just put color into color. Oops, I just put color right over my mist.
I was just thinking for the mist, but.
Yeah. How about let's do this? Let's do this, you guys. I'm going to take my little sprayer here and everywhere. Everywhere.
Robert, I think you should do it the way you do it.
It's okay. I'm doing it the way I do it.
Good,
I do it. I don't have a way I do it. I do it every way.
good.
But you know, sometimes what I'll do when I have the mist on there is I grab a Henry brush. All I have is Henry brushes because he sold me on them, man. I'm sold. I'm never going back. I drank the Henry Kool-Aid. I'm telling you, man. They just won't die, these brushes. I beat them up like crazy. I beat up the sable brushes too, but they always, you know, I've been using this brush for like a year. Not because I'm partial to it or anything, it won't die. And I keep getting the tip out of it, so. All right. You know, it's like I used to use a plein air, like a regular French easel when I was doing the outdoor painting. And I would break them, and I thought these things aren't that great. And then I broke down and got myself a Julian original easel because I heard so much about them, and I thought, well, I might as well just get this. And I couldn't break that thing. I'm telling you, the wood, the hardware, whatever it was about that thing, I painted in rivers, I painted in rocks, painted everywhere, and that thing would not die. So, and I still have it. All right, here we go. That's pretty dark. Pretty dark there. It's okay. I'm just adding water. That's ultramarine. Ultramarine looks pretty green up there. And with my mist here, I'm just gonna like that. Dab it out. And let's think of this first go around as just staining our color in. So remember we had all these yellows and reds and greens. So I'm just gonna get I got a big soup of color right here. I'm gonna hit some, and that's all just red, yellow, and blue. There's some red in there. There's some, that's cad red. Cad yellow off to the side here. And I got a lot of paint. I am not messing around. And then we got, I'm gonna go with a little bit of, what do you call that? Prussian blue. And I'm just gonna put that baby in there. Look at that. Woo! Are you kidding me? Just let it go crazy. See, I like doing everything. And it's going right over my water. I'm just going to get something amazing out of that. I don't know what I'm going to get out of here, but I'm going to take it up out of here because I really do want that water green. I'm actually adding a little bit of water to this, believe it or not. And then I'll just take my, why am I adding water? The reason I'm adding water.
What color was that?
A bunch of colors. Yeah, it's just a bunch of colors. Cad red, cad yellow, and a little bit of Prussian blue. How'd you like my answer? I work really hard on those answers, you know?
Perfect.
Oh, thank you. There's that. Now I'm adding a little bit more Prussian blue to that. A little more. It'll get out of control. Don't worry about it. Now back here, I want a little bit more misty, so I'm just gonna mystify it. I'm adding just water around these edges so I can keep them nice and misty. It's just water. And it gets lighter than that, so I'm gonna really dab, dab, dab. See, we have a wet page already, so it won't dry as fast. Now I want these edges here a little bit mistier, so I'm gonna just add a little touch of water around the edges because it's getting me this hard edge. We're looking for soft edges, just water. You know, and I'll go around and do that. So see now, there's my line, and you can see how my color is bleeding up into the blue. I don't care. Let the watercolor have its. It wants to be what it is, you know. It wants to be beautiful. And so this is just red, yellow, and blue with a lot more Prussian in it. That's all. And I'm putting these darks at the base of my trees, kind of like that. Like when I put those lines in there, at the base of the trees, and then these trees kind of overlap that. And these trees kind of overlap that. And we get the bleeding at the bottom there. This is called applying a watercolor tourniquet. Stop the bleeding. Okay. No, so sometimes you need to re-moisten it. Now watch what I do here. I got a flat line. I'm just going to take that and go like this. And I'm just going to pull it off. See? All I did was I took my page, one like that, and pressed. Like when I stamp things all the time. That way I'm not rubbing it. Because if you rub it, you'll get the rubby look, you know. Not the Robbie look. You know, I was Robbie for many years. If you didn't know that. I quit Robbie in the 6th grade, though. I went up to Rob. That's right. My step into manhood. And I never looked back. Okay. Again, just smacking a few darks. You know, the nice thing about this is because it's so wet, it just takes the paint and just dissipates it. Go ahead and hit yourself a really strong orange in there, a really strong yellow. Now I already have all that red, so I'm going to take just some cad yellow. Just look at that, cad yellow. Hit little flicks of that in there. Let watercolor do the rest. And then what I'm going to do here is just you got a little opaque on me because I got pretty thick with it. So I'm going to just add a little bit of water. And let water, just adding a little bit of water here. Just so I have kind of these faded edges. That's all I'm looking for. And if you want them darker, you can do it darker. I know there's quite a contrast between the top value of the sky and the top of the trees. You know, you certainly could hit some of those a little darker. And this is cool. What I'm doing here now is I'm taking a fairly dry brush into that, but it's still wet, right? So the watercolor is going to take it. So it's almost like I'm dry brushing into wet paint. Or shall I say moist paint? It's not really wet anymore. It's tacking up. It'll still take that and give me this beautiful soft edge. This is the area where it's very difficult for me to explain to you how wet my paper is. It's like, it's drying up, but it's still moist. And look at that beautiful edge we're getting out of that. Insane. And see how that's getting kind of crumbly, like dry brushy. And if I want it more misty than that, just add water. Just add water.
What main color is that up there?
Up there? You mean up here?
No, on the edge. What?
Oh, that's it's just a lighter brown that I made out of the red, yellow, and blue. I used cad red, cad yellow, and ultramarine, the Prussian blue. I'm only using 3 colors in here. See, that one's more Prussian blue. There's a little more cad red. That's a little more cad yellow. And this is just a mixture of them all. There we go. What are the percentages? You know, obviously it's not orange. I think it's a pretty good mixture of all of them, about equally. But just remember, the blue will dominate the other colors because it's just so, a Prussian blue will just dominate everything. It's a stain color, and their stain colors really are dominant. And then a yellow is always going to be more passive. It's the doormat color, right? It's like, okay, whatever. So there we go. Got their rocky outcropping here. Using the same colors. I'm going to use them a lot. You know, you could use other color right here, by the way. I mean, that color of that rock is really kind of black. Like, well, I put blue down there. That looks kind of nice. You know, but if you wanted to do an ultramarine blue, watch this. You could. It's not there, but who cares? Art isn't about what you know. It's not about copying all the time. Now again, I have hard edges. The blue is kind of a nice little relief to it all. Hard edges, so what do? I'm just going to take some water. This is wet into wet too. See, water. See? There's a lot of yellow in that mist. I think it's mixing with the sun color or something. I could throw a little bit of, not very much. Yeah, like that. This is just the white of the paper. Remember, I came down into the base of the mist and I got sort of violet in it. I make a violet out of ultramarine blue and magenta. And it's much lighter than that. Again, I know it's yellower and grayer than this. Just so you know, I'm not colorblind. Or maybe I am. To a certain, I don't know, but I would rather that color. And there is a point where you just make your own instinctive, intuitive choices. Just remember the golden rule. If your value's right, it'll probably be fine. So I don't get too dark with this. Now, as we come on to this water here, even though it's misty water, I still want some blue in it. Remember how we did all that dry brushing on the water last week? Watch, I'm going to dry brush this. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It's just because the paper is the right moisture, you know, all that. Now, I don't want it to dry, so I better hurry up here. And I'm gonna moisten the edges here with some misty edges like that. So it just looks like it's kind of going from dry, look at this, wet to dry to wet. It's watercolor 101. I'm telling you. Okay. You know, I think it would be a good idea to, yeah, I'm dry here now. I'm gonna go ahead and re-moisten this misty area. I'm just gonna add some right down my waterfall here and into my mist. Oop, I think I just saw a gorilla in the mist right there. He's there. If you paint him in there, you get a prize. I'm digging myself into a hole here, but I'm gonna have all these gorillas in people's painting. How'd that happen, Rob? Well, interesting story. No. Okay. And we really get some green in that water. I want to get it. I'm going for it. Prussian blue, lemon yellow. See what I get out of that. That's a little too green. I want some blue green. So if you notice, I'm over here on this other dish right here because I want a fresh color. I like that color. It does have a little, I think I'm just gonna put it in like this first. That's the color I'm looking for, but just darker. And a little bit of yellow in there too. Yeah, it gets really dark. So this part gets pretty dry up here. That's how I'm getting these little sparkles on the top, is because it's dry. As I'm putting it down up here, but then as it goes down into the falls, I'm gonna go ahead and just hit myself. Yeah, a little bit more water down there. Okay. Maybe it's not that dark, huh? That's pretty dark. Just hit that with a rag. Now, what you can do here, you want some of that green in your water, just take a little yellow, see? Just touch a little green in there. Just a touch. Little hints. And as it comes down the falls, see? Getting that color. And just kind of go, and it goes into the mist because this is all wet. It gets kind of violet over there too. I don't mind some violet in my water as well. But there's that shadow in the water. It's kind of neat. I'm going to go with the violet, like a violet sort of shadow in there. It's like a blue violet shadow. And my paint's a little drier over here. It's wetter over there. I can just use a little water and wet that if I like. And just think of this almost like a cloud. It has a light side to it, and the underside of all this mist is really kind of in the violet area, blue violets. And even back here, you see all this sort of. So I'm going to go with my ultramarine blue because it's already got a touch of red in it. I mean, it's the redder blue. And magenta because it's already got a little blue in it. So that makes me a really nice violet. You know, the Prussian will make you a violet too. It'll just be grayer. I'm for some reason wanting some color in this. All this down here, I want and then just let it go into the light. There's some stuff back here too. It's okay if you paint right over your rocks because they're so much darker. We've got that rocky thing going on in there too. Might as well hit something like that in there. Whoops, that's pretty dark. I can just take my big old brush here and I'm just taking a little bit of that paint off. See, that big brush acts like a big sponge. I could have done it with these brushes too. I'm just showing off. Showing off this big old... This brush is great. I could do the whole painting with this brush because these corners are so sensitive. I could easily just come into this and... Why not? You know, I'll do that. I'll do a little more big brush painting because it's important that you know that you get great results in watercolor if you use a big brush. Like let's see. If I wanted to just make this a little bit lighter up there, I'm just using the corner. You can do so much with the corners of a big brush like this, a flat brush. Now I want this kind of jagged edge to this foreground here. There's a lot of brown in it. So I'm just going to leave it dry. And I know right here it is pretty wet. I'll show you what I do. Red, cad yellow, and ultramarine. There we go. See what you can do with a big brush? You can just move that stuff around, huh? Look at that. It's gorgeous. Cover big areas really quick. And it forces you to be loose. Can't be too tight. That's the rule in painting. Always stick to the biggest brush you can as long as you can. I mean, I guess I could use a super big brush for all this, but there's some reds in there. Look at the watercolor. Just doing its thing. It's loving life. There's some yellow, fire and some yellow right there. Pop. Now my edge right here, I'm going to lose my edge a little bit. It'll go into the mist. That's okay to me. I'll come back and find it later. Might not even want to. I don't know. I'll come back and hit that. I'm just kind of going with the spirit of the colors I'm seeing. I'm not really copying them exactly, obviously. You might be thinking, Rob, what are you doing over there? Hey, you know what, man? I looked outside and it just put me in a good mood. Wow, so beautiful. You know what else I did this morning is I did my little workout thing early. I don't usually do that, and I think that's a good idea. Gets the blood going. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that like that, and then later on we can find the edge. And sometimes I'll hit the edge hard and just leave some of that mist. It just adds to the whole. Mysterious. Now here's where I can really make this brush shine. In any flat, I'll do this. You don't have to. I just happen to be using this brush. But check this out. I can get these long horizontals like this. And I could do it with the other brush too, but you know, a flat brush will do those pretty nice. Again, I'm dry brushing all this so I can see all those little They look like little rapids in there. They're little mistakes, but I'm leaving them. It's just that stuff that happens. So you can get those little switchbacks really easy. And I sure could get them the same way doing this, you know. But now the flat, this big giant flat is forcing me to be looser. So, and I might get little rapids that aren't even there, and I might choose to like them or not. We'll see what happens. It's watercolor, you know? It's a roll of the dice. Really flat. Really flat there. It's kind of hard edge up in here. You get all those crisp rapids. I just took a bunch of water, a lot of color out of my brush, and I'm just going to drag it over. Watch this. See, I'll get it just to calm down some of those whites. That's enough. Sometimes the edges get a little too cut out looking. That's pretty cut out looking. I don't know if I should. Yeah, it's fine. I'll put that big brush down. And throw in some of my other color like that. Some of these, just wipe them down in there. I'm just going with the falls like this. Just the feel of it. If I get these hard stops, you know, because it was a little too dry, I'll just take a little water. See? Mist. Back here we have some of those little kind of little shadowy things here and here. You can hit a couple darkies like that. They're not really dark. A couple of those, and then water. Just add water. And get rid of those hard edges. Again, if you wanted to add white to some of this, and white is fantastic for the mist. It's a great way to throw. I love using white in clouds and mist and things like that. But like it is, I think it's fine. It's just another way. It adds another dimension to your painting if you want to. Let's see. Like I said a little earlier, if I wanted to come back and just hit this, wow, that's still wet, huh? Wow. I must have really thrown down a lot of water on that. And so I was just trying to find that rocky edge again, but who knows? Maybe we could just imagine this is going into the mist right there. Maybe this right here is a little bit harder edge. And feel free to paint whatever colors you want into the water. Hit some blue in there, maybe even hit a little violet in there. So those little dark things happening. I think that's probably fine. I'm just. It's an edge game, right? It's all about edges. That's the thing about wet into wet that gives you the really soft edges. I guess I could pull this over here. I have more painting over there. Yeah. Does anyone care for me to show you how to use white in this, or you just want to leave it? All right. So here's some white. Here's how I would use it. You can come over into this part and just hit it. And I just leave it like that. Like that. And then I'll come back and play with the edges. But here's another way you can use it. Like, let's say on this foam right here, just hit the outside edge of it like that. You can come back here and smack a little bit on the outside edges. This is absolutely something Sargent would do. You could any little thing. Like if I wanted this a little more misty, or maybe I want this little. Maybe it's jumping forward, even though in the photograph it is very dark. Maybe I want it to recede a little bit more. Look at that, like lost and found in there. Look at that. 2 strokes. It happens once in a while. You get lucky. I love it. The key is knowing when to leave it. You know, sometimes when it looks like good, you go, oh, maybe if I put more on it. No, don't. And if some of these strokes get a little bit too hard edge, you can come back and soften the edge with just a little bit of water. And like this right here, it's getting a little hard edged on me. I could just, with a little bit of water, and that's the way Sargent didn't kill his transparencies, but still used some white. I just watched a video on, I have a renewed interest in Sargent and his watercolors. He really is the ultimate technician. I mean, wow. This historian, I should get you that video. It was just on YouTube. I was just watching it. You might have already seen it. It's just called Sargent's Watercolors, but it's like an 1.5-hour talk. Wow. She talks about, why he did them, and they were his escape. From all the portraits, and he didn't even want to sell them. But he wanted, they begged him to do a show, so he did some shows, and my gosh, he just changed watercolor forever. Really. You could argue that maybe his subject matter. I love it, his nature paintings, by the way. But like when he gets to painting the aristocratic, that might be a little bit not to everybody's taste, but you know, whatever. So did Monet. Anyway, I got lost in that video, and there's another historic. I'll find them and get them to you. Let me make a note of that. I watched both of them and I learned a lot. See, one's on the history of watercolor and the watercolor paper. That's where I learned about the Fabriano. I mean, you know, I've heard all this stuff before, but I really didn't pay much attention to it. History and Sargent. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of paint companies and paper companies have been around for eons, but you know, kind of fun to listen to again and renew my interest. Maybe this is a little contrasting here. Okay. Let's see what we got over here. Everybody. All right. I'm going to let you guys just paint. And if you have any questions, just ask George. No, he's joking. I mean, what am I doing here? I don't know. Let's see. If you can't get yeah. I am too quick. These are 60 number pads. Yeah, there's 60 in the pad. In that pad of paper I was using. Somebody's calling me. Oh. Go. One of those darn. Don't you get a call like that every day? Someone you never heard of trying to sell you something you never wanted or scam you. I don't even listen to those calls anymore. See, I put that white down there and it was looking really good when I first put it down, and then it dried. See? The white does funny stuff too. So it's kind of your decision how loose you want to be. Let's try some of this. Put it on there pretty strong. Because I know even that strong, it's going to dry a little bit lighter. I think I want to kill this bright thing here too. Yeah, I like that. If you play with it too much, the white will mix with the color. Right now, it's just on top of it. But if I play with it too much, it'll mix with the undercolor, and then you'll get usually a gloppy mess. sometimes, you know, sometimes you throw caution to the wind and come up with something great. But I'm pretty sure that would be a gloppy mess. Because I've made a lot of them and I know how to make them. Anyway, there's Betsy. You already got one in for me, huh? Let's see. Nice. I could start the crits already. Usually I've been waiting. No, we were going to start them at we were starting them a little earlier, yeah. Well, anyone that wants to get yours in, I'm not rushing you, but I'll start critting here. And I am going to turn off my HD video. Hopefully this will help.
Wow, I couldn't believe I did it this early.
Good for you. Usually Charlotte's the...
Yeah, I can't believe I did it.
Well, you've got a good looking painting there. Let's see. Okay, I turned off my HD. I think I did that right. Okay. And then I'm going to screen share. And we'll just wait for the, yeah, I've got more now. Okay, everybody's sending them in.
Beautiful.
There we go. Screen share. So let's see. Okay. Let me take this off. And let me put my little tools on here. Not that I'll need them on this painting. Let's see. But I still like to draw all over your painting. So I would assume you're happy with this painting. Please tell me you are.
Yes.
This is nice. You didn't overwork it. I mean, you look at you've got the beautiful bloom right here. I mean, the beautiful lost edges in here. You even came into it with a little bit of white. I think that is a beautiful looking accent of white. And I see nothing wrong with that at all. You didn't kill any of your transparencies. You didn't make murky mud out of it. So that's the way I use white. And let's see. Yeah, you know, the foreground is all it needs to be. Just a big, giant, beautiful color field.
Yeah.
And then this big white is just great. Why not? You don't need tons of information in that. I mean, it was probably pretty easy for you, wasn't it?
Well, it was hard for me to make the falls look. I've had trouble with falls before. So
Yeah.
The geometry of it, so I had to draw it correctly so that I understood where the edges were, so you'd have a shadow side and where the fall would come over. That was the hardest for me, but once I figured that out, I was okay.
Yeah. Now, I guess one thing I could say is, let's see here. You see how we have this, right? It's pretty level.
Right, and then it bumps up.
Yeah. That's the one thing what I might do is just level that out a little bit.
Okay.
You wouldn't believe it. That little move will do a lot.
So just take that line and put some water on it to move it down a little.
Yeah, let me see. Just try to get it nice and flat like that.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. It won't be a very big move at all.
Or should I take paint and try to do it with paint or just water?
I would take the tree line down into it.
Okay.
Yeah, the brown or whatever color you're using for the tree.
Yeah, just move it down in there.
Just flatten that out a touch. It shouldn't be a big deal. I wouldn't make a big deal out of it.
Couldn't that be foamy water?
It sure could. And if you like the way it looks, because I do like the way it looks, just leave it. But if it bugs you, then just level it out a little bit. I certainly have paintings like that I just leave. I have things in this painting right now I'm looking at there that are awkward, and I'm just going to leave them.
Yeah. I just
So,
a little dark in there. We'll see how it dries up.
yeah. That's just got water. This is a watercolor, okay?
Yeah.
This is a watercolor. You got wet into wet. Look at that. You've got little puddle marks there with little edges to them right in there. You've got the blooms in there. Look at this. Another little puddly edge there. Look at that. Wow. It's watercolor. A good watercolor is simple and easy to look at. It's not screaming at you. It doesn't have to be this big razzle dazzle. It's like, ooh, the falls. Ooh, the paint. Ooh,
Yeah.
I like it when the paint is doing as much as the image is, So anyway, kudos to you. Nice work.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we're off to Charlotte. Ooh, making me hungry.
I know, ignore the banana.
I can't ignore that banana. I'm a banana freak, but not as much as George is. George got me hooked on the bananas at night.
Don't knock bananas.
The sweet bananas at night. Oh, a little bit older, yeah.
Rob,
Yeah.
I have a question. Would you, when you're critiquing someone's painting, would you tell the person's name so we know who did it?
Yeah, Charlotte. I didn't say Charlotte? I'm sorry.
Charlotte.
Okay. Yeah, this is Charlotte. Yeah, that's a good idea. I should do that more. Okay, let's see. And red, and let's go a little thicker. Well, what do you think, Charlotte? I mean, this is great.
Yeah, I think it's on hard watercolor paper, hardboard.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Are you stretching this around a board or something like this?
No, it's called just a watercolor board.
Oh, I see. So it's watercolor paper on like illustration board?
Yeah, it's just kind of glued to a board.
Yeah. That's nice. Then you don't have to flatten it out later.
No, but it starts curling in the future.
Oh, it will? Oh, okay.
So if I frame it, I have to glue it down on a backing board.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
It's just extra paper I had, but I like the watery effect, and I really liked watching your demo and the drawing that you did in the relationship to how the falls were formed.
Yeah. Oh, this is nice. Look at the beautiful. Look at this. This is called a color field, everyone. So you got even though we have a field of color, which kind of sums up to like a warm autumn feeling. We've got, bluer versions, redder versions, yellower versions, and
Yeah, I like to go back and drop paint into the water wet to see
yeah,
what happens.
or maybe in here. What about now? This feels like water up here. Did you want that? Not that it matters.
I don't know. I just left it.
Yeah, it looks like, why not? It could be another fall.
It might just be, I didn't want to draw attention to that corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll make it part of the water. I don't know. It's just an interesting painting. Niagara Falls. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I
Great.
can't imagine that I painted Niagara Falls.
Now you did. Beautiful. It's a beautiful painting. Again, everything about this screams watercolor. Look at that. I mean, nice edges.
I think if I made that corner darker, it would draw attention to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have to think about it.
And that's kind of got me tempted to throw a little white in here or something. in my corner. And I like this burst of warm right in here. That's nice.
And I did add a little bit of white streaks here and there.
You did, huh? See, and now you're using the white. I can't even see it. Maybe there's a little in here or something.
No, it's up where those streaks are.
These are?
Yeah.
I thought that was the paper. I did not even think that it was white. Wow.
And then at the top, it is white paper. It's hard to keep the white paper.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just love your classes. I think they're so spectacular.
Well, man, thank you. I do really appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
I wonder if George put opera in his.
Yeah, you don't have to wonder about that.
You'll have to wait and see.
This is Jane. Is it Levy or is that how you say it? I can't hear you, Jane.
Levy.
Levy. Oh, okay.
Sorry. Not
No
my
problem.
husband's fault.
All right. What do you think?
Looking at it, I've decided maybe there's not enough in the actual waterfall. It's too white. I need to put in more, more water coming down. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, you could do that. Sure. You know what? If you wet the surface first and you do that, you might end up with something just like that again. So what you might want to do is just put it on kind of dry, and then come back with, keep a wet brush right beside you,
Right.
and then just wet the edges.
Yeah.
And you can, you might have a little more control over that.
Right.
And then I love this mist, how this mist kind of comes in right here. That's great. That's great. Look at that right there. That's beautiful. Nice control. Nice control here. Beautiful.
Do you think the rock just grabs your eye too much?
Well, yeah, it's very contrasty. I could see a little white over that. Or if you like, you can just wet it.
Yeah.
And lift it off with your brush or just lift it off with your rag. Yeah, that'll work. Either way. And you could argue the same thing over here too. You could maybe in these areas too, if you wanted to wet them, let it sit for a minute and then stamp it.
You think it's too much?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah.
I might do this one though, just to make it feel farther away.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing this one already, it's very easy just to put a little water on that, dab it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dab. It's the water dab. Your water looks very sort of calligraphic. I like those marks, really absolute marks. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
one day I'll go to Niagara Falls. I've always wanted to.
me too. I've never been there. And then you can tell everybody, I painted this. And they'll look at you like, so?
So?
And then you can tell them, well, but I'm a really good painter, okay? So.
I'll bring it with me and sell it. Well, thank you, Rob. I think
Yeah.
it was
Just one more thing. If you like, and if you don't want a lot of interest in this area, then keep it the way it is. If you hit a couple of more darks in here, it bring the eye forward, because right now your darkest dark is like here.
right.
And if you want the eye to come forward a little bit more, maybe a couple of more darks in the foreground, and they don't have to be very descriptive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
a good. Yeah, unlike Charlotte was saying, would bring attention to that corner, but since I've got all the attention on that rock,
Yeah.
it might balance it a bit.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jane.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.
Okay, bye. Claire.
Not bye. I'm still here, but
Hi.
Hi. Now, this is pretty big, right? How big is this?
No, it's
Looks large.
it's Gosh. 12.
Who's the by?
12 by 9? This is Claire.
I did it on that 1264 Fabriano paper, the 100 pound. But it's smooth, Bristol smooth.
Oh, okay. So,
And
I mean, I think that paper is good for like doing my little comps and things, but I mean, I'm definitely not using that. Just so you know, I'm not using that for
watercolor?
regular watercolor. No, I mean, it's not that good a quality.
Oh, okay. It was difficult to use, I can say that.
Yeah, and it'll wave on you a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting pretty good results. I didn't even know you weren't using it until you said so. Yeah, you don't fight the paper. I mean, like I say, it's good for sketching and quick watercolor things, but for a more thought out watercolor, I would definitely do the better watercolor paper.
Yeah.
Like I might take Luisa's advice and go for that. What do you call it? The Artistico paper, Fabriano Artistico. So.
In Dick Blick the other day, and I saw it as 2 for 1, and I thought, well, I'll give it a try.
Yeah. So let's see. Great. I mean, your handling of the paint's fine. Great handling of the paint. Your colors are really lush in the background trees. Remember what we talked about? Here, I'll be extreme with this here. I'll be kind of extreme. For these little land masses, if you put them in kind of flat at the bottom,
Yeah.
really, really flat, that can help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. And then if you wanted to, you could put a little white over this. I know, we're all doing that, and I did it too. In the photo, cameras will read things like that. They'll read a dark back here as dark as everything in here.
Yeah.
And it really probably isn't like that. And even if it is, it doesn't always make for the best paintings.
Okay. I could just lift up color, couldn't I?
You could lift up, or you could add white. Either way.
Okay.
Sky is great. You're getting all these little beautiful little wet into wet bloomy effects. So the paper's doing that.
Yeah, that's true. That's a French ultramarine. I wanted to try that and see. I wasn't real happy with my other ultramarine, but the French ultramarine I like. It's a little.
Oh. Yeah, there is a difference between French ultramarine and ultramarine.
Yeah.
I mean, one's greener than the other, and I'm not sure which one it is.
This one seems purpler to me.
Okay, then that's probably what it is. Well, I know that one night we looked it up on the internet. I think George did, and we figured out the difference, and of course I forgot it.
And I forgot it also.
I can't believe you forgot it.
It wasn't much of a difference, I don't think.
Yeah. You usually don't forget those things, though. Okay, so you see your perspective right here, how it's kind of going like this?
Yeah.
So if you want that to lay down a little bit, what you can do is just see how you drag this one out here like this?
Yeah.
Maybe drag another little point out here. A couple more. And that'll lay that down in perspective. Because you get these little switchbacks.
Okay.
And that might lay that down a little bit for you. If it doesn't bother you, then just leave it. But I'm just,
The thing that bothers me about it is that I didn't have it sort of come out at an angle, the water. I just had it sort of fall from the edge.
Oh, you didn't get the swoop?
Yes, I didn't get the swoop.
The swoop.
That bothered me.
Oh, well, there's
Yeah.
always white. Don't fear the white. Yeah, you can take these and kind of occasionally. And just remember, when you put it down with the white, you can always let that dry and then come back into it. I like to let it dry and then come back into the edges and foam it out. Give it real misty edges with just a damp brush. It works.
Okay.
Yeah, it really does. So that's one of my favorites. So it'll work. I'm telling you. It's the swoop.
There we go. That's better.
Okay.
Thank you.
That'll work. Okay. Thank you. And now we're talking to Francis. How do you say your last name, Francis? Is it Kimbrough?
Kimbrough.
Kimbrough. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Kimbrough. Kimbrough. What is that? Scottish?
Oh, it's English.
English. Oh.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it is. I have no idea what my name is either. They say some guy named Adam Sherrill came over here from Wales. So I don't, maybe that's where the name comes from. I don't know. Okay. Beautiful colors. You know, now what you're doing here, the gray, and by the way, nice colors. Look at the gray. Look how cloudy the sky looks. The grays give more life to your color. You see how the color will pop out more when it's next to a gray. So that's the thing to note here. One of the reasons these are popping out so much is because it's not next to it like a saturated color. So grays give life to your color. And you know, by the way, however you did the sky, did you put any white in the sky?
No, I did that with basically one stroke of the brush. It was
Look
a
at
broad
that.
brush
Wow.
and it was damp, and I've never done that before. It just happened.
Look at that. It looks great. I mean, look, you got lights and
Yeah.
shadows and lights and shadows. I mean,
It was the first time I've ever done that and never touched it again.
You didn't dab it or anything?
No, I did not.
Wow.
I did not.
Well,
So I wish
you
I
might
could
want to
do
make
that
a mental
again.
note of how you did that, and then
I wish I could do that again.
well, you'll have a lot of paintings like that, and what happens is that you'll kind of remember what you did.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna
And
do
then-
it again.
Yeah, that looser attitude. It just isn't it weird that it's like the
Because that's what's really hard for me, is to really loosen up, as you can tell by looking at what I do. It's like everything's still really tight.
Mhm.
So someday.
Okay, it is tight, but now look at these colors you're using. Look at this. Great idea. You've got this orangey thing right
Yeah.
next to this greenish thing, right
Yeah.
next to this bluish and violet thing. This whole area is just gorgeous.
Wow, thank you, Rob.
You need to look at Thomas Moran, because it looks just like this.
Okay.
Look at his watercolors, his oils too, but mainly look at his watercolors. He's just so famous for doing these beautiful glazes. But one of the reasons they look so beautiful is because he gets that full range of, yellowy things, bluish things, reddish things, even the red. He gets them all vibrating off each other, and they work fantastic. This is interesting what you're doing in here, sort of this dry brushy kind of
Yeah.
organic thing.
Yeah, it's kind of, I didn't know how to do it. So I
Right.
just decided to dry brush it, and maybe it would look like the rock.
And it does have, I've seen, lava surfaces around like rocky areas where they'll have gravel spilling down the side of the hill like this. I've seen things just like that.
I really had trouble with the water, though. I started out with something really dark and it was too blue, and then I tried to add the green, and then it kind of all went together and didn't work very well.
So what I did was I used a drier brush in there, and it
Okay.
just left the white of the paper. And
I just kept working it and trying to make it better, and it got worse.
yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can always take some very, very, very horizontal shapes of white in there
Okay.
with some
I know.
white.
Okay.
Oh, it'll work. I mean, I've done things like this and saved them many times. Oh, but I can't make them very horizontal, can I?
Oh, I understand though. I can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it'll work. Really, really horizontal. Anyway, your mist right here is just, I wish my mist would have come out like that. That makes me want to add some of this orange you're doing over here into mine. Gosh. I guess I did put a little bit in there, but yours is great.
Thank you.
Very, very Thomas Moranish. Love it. I mean,
Thank you.
thank you. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rob, did you say that
Lisa.
you made a statement and I forgot to write it down? It was about watercolor technique more important than the painting, something like that?
Watercolor technique.
It's more important than the actual painting that we're copying. It was one of your philosophy statements and I didn't write it down. You can't remember, right?
I usually don't say the technique's more important than the painting.
No, it was some other thing you said. Anyway, maybe you'll remember.
Technique. Oh, yeah. You know, I say them. They come to my head, and I don't even know what I said. I was
try to
probably
write it
wrong.
down. I know.
But it sounded good at the time. No.
I tried to write it down, but I missed it. Okay, maybe you'll remember.
Yeah. Usually, I will say that I'll forego technique for the painting.
Oh, that's maybe what it was.
Yeah. I'll forego. In other words, I in Rob's philosophy. It's not really mine, but in other words, I'll forego everything for the painting. You know, it's more important that the painting works, and that you have, you know, a globby mess over here, and maybe, you know, in other words, maybe it's not as technical as some English watercolors, which are extremely technical. I'll forego that for the beauty of the paint and what's right for the painting.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And in
Okay.
my mind, that is good technique, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Louisa,
Yes.
you are. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Now that's a wet into wet paint. You really went into wet.
Yes.
And why not? Okay. What do you think about value? Now, I think these values are pretty darn good in the back. In the front, do you think this should be darker, or did you just want these colors? Because it could be like that.
Yeah, I usually mess up when I keep adding,
Yeah,
and so I just stopped.
yeah,
I did add some yellow. I like the colorfulness of it, but I don't know.
yeah.
You think
No.
it would be good to add more darks?
If you like. If you like the way it is, don't do it. By the way, your waterfall technique is beautiful, and your draftsmanship of the waterfall. See how you have these switchbacks?
Yeah. Thank you.
That feels, you know, for those of you that when I was talking to about this is what I mean. They really this is what land does. This is what most things do in perspective. They do a lot of switching back.
Well, I
So-
knew that because I went to Niagara Falls before.
Oh, that's okay. You're a cheater then.
I'm from Montreal, so I'm not
Oh.
very far from.
So how far is that from Niagara?
Just a few hours drive.
Oh,
Yeah, and
Wow.
it's wonderful because you take the boat and you go under the falls. It's really a life experience to try to do
so,
it.
so would you say you have a French accent?
No.
No. No? I hear a little bit of accent there.
Yes,
Is-
yes,
I mean, is it French that you speak? I would say so, right?
French is my first language, yes.
Oh, that's your first language? Wow.
Yes.
Wow. You know, I know another lady here in town that buys my paintings. She's from Montreal. No, is she
Really?
from Quebec? I'm sorry.
Well,
I think she's
Montreal is in the province of Quebec, but there's also
Oh.
Quebec City. There is also.
She's
city.
from Montreal. That's where she is. Yeah. Sorry.
In
Yeah.
any case, if you can go to Niagara Falls, it's really.
She's from the country of Montreal. Sorry. Okay. Nice wet into wet. Love the switchbacks. That's good. The only thing, I mean, I love all the wet into wet. It all works for me. This guy here stands out a lot. I might lose some of the edges on that.
Yeah, right.
These two marks here,
Yeah, it shouldn't be there, yeah.
they just don't go with the foamy stuff. So I might, just add a little water and you'll be surprised. It should come right up. You could add a little white to it too if you like, but I mean,
Right.
it
I
probably will come right up.
water it down. It was not that easy. It's the staining, what do you call it, Prussian blue? Or,
Yeah, it might be tough.
But I could add some white when it's dry.
Yeah. That's probably what I do. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. And we've got Daryl. Here we go. All right. See, now here's right away. Where's my color? How come I can't do this? Okay, there it is. Right away, you see how you've got this working and this working. It kind of moves the eye back. It moves just the juxtaposition of the land masses moves the eye back. Another way to move the eye back in this piece.
Much angle?
Yeah, another way is by adding a little bit more mist in this area. That'll move the eye back. The other way you can do it is by adding a little darker stuff up here.
Okay.
Kind of moves the eye back.
I'll try to get more perspective. Yeah, darker on the left side there. Or
Yeah, you could do either or both. A little dark there, a little bit of light here.
yeah, everything's going up at the same angle. Yeah, I gotta flatten some shapes out there. Huh?
Yeah, you get some nice little watercolor shapes in there. Nice little. Are you working on a hard press paper? Hot press? No?
Okay, so cut some of those. Yeah, everything's kind of going the same direction there. Huh?
Yeah, maybe curl a couple. Here and there.
So darker, get some darker color on the left there.
Yeah, just a little deeper value. I wouldn't use black or anything, but
Yeah,
And if you like, maybe some darker stuff down here on the bottom.
okay.
If you like, the falls look great.
Yeah, I kept trying to get that foam. It's not easy. I just get a stiff brush and try to scrub it, but it's hard to get the foam.
Yeah, you might want to just take some white, kind of thick. I'd leave it. I wouldn't put it with a lot of water. Put it on there, kind of thick, and just let it dry. Just let it dry.
Yeah, I got to get white gouache and just put it on heavy on white gouache.
Yeah, put it on heavy, let it dry, and then play with the edges with just a little bit of water. It works. You'll love it. It's fantastic. It's a Zorn technique.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're doing right here with that little mist over the background, that's classic Zorn right there. He did that.
Yeah, I got lucky there.
It's a beautiful mark. In a way, you're getting kind of a bloom, like a bloom wet into wet mark going across that. but it's I would call that a translucent because you still see through it, even though it's semi-opaque. I would call that a translucent wash, and you're doing it here too. I think it works. That works for you.
Yeah, I saw some warm color in there, so, and, otherwise everything just blue and white, you know? So,
Yeah.
So it's, had to throw a little, I see some warm colors. In fact, I wish I could have got some little more turquoise look in the water there in the front there. I don't know how, unless I don't have any turquoise paint, but I don't know how to get that kind of a turquoise green.
If you really clean your water and clean your brush really well, and then put a little the Prussian blue with just a touch, like 1% of lemon yellow, and that makes a pretty good aqua.
Yeah, I kept trying to make it. I was getting some kind of ugly greens, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get
I see some turquoise there.
I like these greens you got right here. I think those look good in the water. And I like that you're using like ultramarine back here, and then maybe a little Prussian up here.
Yeah.
That's it's nice to see the variation in the water. In the
Right.
watercolor. I mean, the color of the water.
Very good. Yeah, I'll work on the back there, trying to flatten some of those shapes out. You know, to the same direction. Everything. Okay,
Perfect.
Rob. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. And Phoebe. Hello.
Hi.
Oops. That's a watercolor. Now, did I tell you, Phoebe, were you in my class? I got the pencil sharpener.
Yes. Oh, you did? Oh,
I-
no, you got the wrong one.
I know. I got the other one. I mean, Blick didn't have the other one, so I got this one. That's all they had. But it's supposed to be pretty similar.
Yeah, it's the one made for Blackwing, right? The trouble is it has a stop. Actually, it may not be a trouble at all because I've written KUM and I haven't, or KUM, and I haven't gotten any reply back.
It does have a stop. I see it. Yeah, in the back.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want a nice clean lead, which we do if we want to use the side of the pencil, these pencil sharpeners aren't any good because they just chew up the lead.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway.
I'm so sorry. You spent your money.
No, it gives me a good point. I got a
I
really
ordered
good point
one
out of
too,
it.
and I love it. I love it. I don't have to use a razor blade anymore to cut my fingers.
Who is that speaking?
Charcy. It was expensive.
Charcy.
It was expensive, but I don't have to. I cut my finger with that razor blade trying to chisel out these pencils, and this just goes perfect for the long.
Look at that. It's
So
absolutely.
You don't have any gouges along the side of your lead?
Yeah, but then I just go back with a little, filing,
Sandpaper.
emery board.
No, but I'm getting a look at it. I don't know if you can see how.
Can't see it. It's just dark.
Yeah, I know, but you can see the point. It's a good smooth point.
I don't know. I think it was worth the money, and I love the suggestion.
All right.
Oh, good.
Fucking shop here.
I'm so afraid I led you all.
I don't have Band-Aids on my fingers anymore.
One of my
believe me.
teachers recommended that pencil sharpener also, Rob, that you have the Blackwing, but hers was the brand that Phoebe mentioned, the one made by KUM.
Oh yeah.
So but I think they work the same way.
They're all made by KUM. They just
Oh.
brand it for Blackwing.
Oh, I see.
But the only thing that I find is that when you're sharpening the number two, when you get to the number two, that part, sometimes the tip breaks off in there, and then I have to get like a pin or a safety pin or something and push that lead out, depending on how soft the lead is. That's the only thing that's really annoying.
Yeah, I just noticed that the blades in here are made by KUM.
Right.
So.
The whole thing.
Yeah,
was
there you
made
go.
by
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Gonna have
All right.
to pay big taxes, Tom?
Anyway, back to watercolor.
Yeah.
I think it's took out money to pay off the,
Yeah? We're talking taxes now?
Yeah.
We're not. You're talking about pencil lead. Anyway,
I was out of control on this.
this is beautiful. Don't you love it? I love it.
Oh,
Look how I mean, you're out of control, but you're in control. There's lots of control going on here. I'm seeing nicely placed reds next to blues, next to yellows. Yet the watercolor is doing its thing. That's where you want to be in watercolor, I think. I think the best watercolors are when you're writing that edge between out of control and in control.
well, I want to do this one again. Watch the video and do it again because there's so many things. You know, I was having a hard time keeping up.
Okay.
I'm so slow. And then I didn't get I have right angles on my water, which is no surprise being an architect, but.
Oh, I didn't know you're an architect. Oh, gosh.
But,
fantastic.
You know, can't bring the water. It should have swooped. Needed to swoop out. Anyway.
Yeah, some swoopage.
Yeah. But it was fun.
Beautiful. I mean, look at the top of your trees here where it meets the sky. You're getting that beautiful bloom there. Look at this little transparency. I love those kinds of things. So, I mean, I those are the kinds of things that when I'm done with the watercolor and it's all dry, to come back and look at it and go, oh, I did that. Right. It did that, but you know, I mean, I had something to do with it. I allowed it to happen. Okay, your drafting of here looks pretty darn good. It's laying down nice and flat. You got enough switchbacks. This area right here looks perfect as far as the water kind of coming over the edge. Yeah, if you wanted to, you could always take some white into it if you like or whatever. And like I said on I think it was Daryl's. You could do a couple of you know, you could just round them off there a little bit with the white.
Yeah.
And like I said, I always put it in with white. And then, I mean, I didn't in this piece as much, but after it's dry, I'll put it in with the white and let it dry, and then I come back in and mess around with it. If you're looking for that. I mean, it's a beautiful little piece on its own, though. I don't think it really... maybe this is one of those ones you be wise to leave alone.
Yeah.
And do another one. Yeah.
You talk about Sargent. He was really good at not working over his work. He said, I don't want to do it, you know, keep working on it. I want to move on next.
Yeah. Yep.
But the left corner for me was a real mess.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I love how it looks like an old map on the edges.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the colors look like an old map too. I can see there's a road right there to the Silk Road. No, I'm just joking. No. You know, I personally don't mind that kind of thing. It looks to me like a compositional element. You know, you need to close the corner or something like that, and that's all it was there for. I mean, yours looks a lot like mine, actually.
Doesn't
I'm looking at mine; they almost look like they're brothers and sisters right over here.
But doesn't it need to be darker?
You could smack some darks in it, sure. If you do put some darks in there, what I would do is put down a little water first, and then put down your dark.
Okay.
Just so the dark will kind of dissipate. The other way to do it is if you put down your dark, then make sure you, just like with the white, make sure you come around the edges with some water, so you don't get these hard marks on there. You know, you get these nice. You'll get the value you're looking at, and still keep with this beautiful technique you're doing.
Well, thank you.
All right, thank you. There's Judy. All right. Let's see. How you doing, Judy? You
I'm
there?
good, thanks, Rob. I feel like I feel like my water plane is too wide. Like I need my trees to come more forward.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of going uphill, huh?
Yeah,
So what you can do is just take the bottom to about here, and then take some trees up, flatten this bottom.
yep,
You'd be surprised how easy it is. Just flatten the bottoms.
okay.
Your color is gorgeous. I mean, the color right here this is exquisite.
Thank you,
I can't do better color than that. Look at that. That's beautiful.
thank you.
That's when you're just letting the water just do its thing, but your choice of color in there is just fantastic. So I wouldn't touch the trees. I mean, if you're putting in the bases in like this, just try to do the same technique you did in here.
Okay,
Just keep with that. Look at this rusty kind of glow you got around the outside. I love that. I see that in a lot of.
yeah. I saw that in the picture. I actually used quinacridone gold.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you if you use like Indian yellow or something.
Yeah, I liked it in there.
Oh, I have a quinacridone. Yeah, I have one right here. I should have used that. It's beautiful. Did you use it in here too?
I did not.
Oh. Yeah, I'm a sucker
And
for
then-
those colors. I really am. Love it.
And then like the cliff, I just couldn't get a color there that was consistent. What could I do to kind of?
This one or this one?
No, that one.
In the
one
foreground?
on the right, the edge. No.
Oh, this one.
The cliff, the way over, the thing that looks like a triangle.
This one here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I might throw a little white over that.
Okay.
Yeah, not a lot, but I mean, mists like you did back here,
Mhm.
I would do it like that.
Okay.
Just take that over. You'll get a lot more distance in your piece.
Okay.
So your drafting now is, again, what we could do here is just a couple more level areas. Kind of just take this blue out flat like that. Let it come out. See how this one kind of comes like this?
Mhm.
Maybe just take a couple like the blue out here a little bit more. And then maybe take some falls off it or something. So you get these switchbacks.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And then is the foreground too similar in value to the background? Should I do something to change that?
it's the same color and value in the background.
Right.
You could go darker with the same colors.
So it should be darker.
You could go, I mean, yeah. I'd probably make that choice, yeah. I might even take it up a little higher. What do you think of that? Like that.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see. So you notice how I didn't have I have no problems with your color. It's mostly a perspective issue, right? That's what it's perspective that makes these switchbacks work.
Yep.
It's perspective. So you're looking over this, you're looking over the water, and that's what makes everything switch back so much, because you're looking over so much water. So you just get these switchbacks to go back and back. And as they come at your eye, they get a little bit more, not as flat as back here.
Right.
And that's just that's always, I shouldn't say always, but that is the weakness of the colorist. Perspective is usually, or the weakness of the colorist. And I know that one firsthand. That's my thing. So that's why I really harp on perspective.
Yep. Okay, well, I think if I flatten
Not a big deal.
out, I think I could fix that.
Yeah, this is very, very, very workable. Very workable. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ethel. Oh, beautiful. Wow, I like your interpretation. Nice.
Really? I'm kind of going, okay.
Ah. You think that's a little dark?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, glaze it with a little bit of white.
Okay, I can do that.
A little white on that. I could see a little more variation to this color. What I might do is, since you've already got a nice theme of red there, what I would do is wet the surface, because you've got the form already built, which is nice. I mean, you got the dark, the medium, the light, perfect. What I might do is accent a little bit of little touches, and if you just put water down first, you know, the water will take it around.
Yeah.
So a couple of little accents of yellows.
Yeah, it seems to need more color, like yellow.
Yeah, and you know, if you add water to it, it won't be such a bright yellow. You know, the water will drink it up a little bit and move it around.
Ah, okay.
And then, yeah. By the way, I like how you pulled your land up here in the foreground. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Really high.
Oh yeah.
And what else? Now your draftsmanship on the water looks nice. Let's see.
It looked a little too flat and straight, and maybe I just didn't get, I don't know. Yeah, those. The little switchbacks seem to disappear or seem to.
Yeah. Now usually about right here, you mostly get white in this area.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that turns into foam. This is where you see the green, the blues and the greens.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. I love this look. You're doing your soft edge with the dry brush, and it looks nice.
Yeah, that's what I ended up doing, was dry brushing for some of it.
Yeah. Now, just so you all know, I mean, a waterfall can fall straight down. What happens is that Niagara is going so fast that's what gives it that sort of bow.
Uh-huh.
That kind of it kind of comes off like this. But now a slower moving, like, you know, when they drained Niagara, when it wasn't, I mean, when it was kind of a trickle there, that will fall straight down. So it has to do with how fast the water's moving. If it's moving really fast, it might come off like that, you know?
Yeah.
So it certainly could go straight up and down like this. So that's
okay. Yeah, it just seemed to go too straight for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to fuss with it too much.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, this is nice.
Thank you.
Nice piece. Thank you.
This one was fun to do. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I've been tempted to say, can we do ocean waves? But I'm not so sure I want to do that anymore.
Oh, I would love to do that. You know, thank you for saying that.
Oh, good.
Let me write that down. I'll put it on my little notes. You know, anything you guys think of. You know, sometimes I have written down what we're going to do for the whole term, but oftentimes I'll just change it based on things you're saying, and maybe I got another idea or whatever. But you know, sometimes I even run across a photo and I go, we just have to paint this photo. So
yeah. Well, ocean waves would be interesting.
yeah. Oh, that would be fun. Are you talking about like on the beach where they crash on the beach, or are you talking about out in the ocean?
That could be, or just out in the ocean. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Too.
Because you get that green glow.
Yeah. Underneath. Yeah. That looks awfully challenging to me.
Yeah. You know, that's all about getting the right photograph too.
And the light, yes.
Yeah, getting the light right. Yeah, that would be fun. I would really enjoy doing that. You know, I have to show you all the murals I did like that sometime. I did all these murals of waves crashing on the beach, and I didn't know how to do them. I had never done them. So, yeah, I had to do a lot of research, and I messed up a lot. But I did these murals, and they were 30 feet high, 100 feet wide, and I was shooting them all in with a big car painting gun. You know, crazy. I learned a lot about it though. Okay, Diane. Hey. Okay, here we go.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Nice wet into wet technique.
My paper stayed so wet.
Yeah, did it?
It was, yeah, it never, I mean, I think it still feels pretty wet.
Yeah, you know, I'm feeling mine too. Mine's still wet.
It's like I tried to put some white kind of on the waterfall part because it got to be too solid with the water going over the edge.
Yeah.
And it just never showed up. So I'm gonna wait. I decided I better just wait. And listen to your crit before I do anything else.
Well, let's see. You know, this all looks great. This is a very good way to use white here. I mean, it feels just like mist. It really does. And I'm telling you, using the white can give you that feeling. I mean, I got it by looking at Zorn's, so really take a hard look at Zorn's. Now, I could see even taking a little bit of that white, maybe over here a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe not this far.
Okay.
But just to give you a little bit more depth, atmospheric depth.
Okay. That makes sense.
And now I wouldn't go this opaque with it. I would go, you know, like see how transparent you're getting on the edge here? You take that over some of these areas, and I'm thinking that would be nice. I like how you pulled it over here. That works very well.
That was just blotting out with the towel.
So you didn't even use white on that, really?
No,
Wow.
I didn't use white on
See,
that.
I can't even tell. So, let's see now. If you wanted to take a couple pieces really flat rapids in there, you could, dry brush them in there if you like.
Okay, yeah.
That works. And
my water edge just got too mushy because it was just so wet. So I think, I don't know. Or I need to go a little darker on the edge before it falls over the.
I did pop a little dark on there on mine.
Okay.
I actually went back and lightened it. Mine was too dark.
Oh, okay.
I could see another sort of semi switchback here.
Okay,
Kind of.
that makes sense. Yeah, it's just very mushy there. It just doesn't read like a cliff to me. So I need to go back in and fix that.
And then the water comes over the edge.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And of course back here it's just much flatter, but and yours is fine. But I'm just saying that's what it does.
Okay.
I think everything looks great. If you wanted to get a little, because the bottom is flat, so
Okay, yeah.
if you wanted to, you could put, like what I did was I put a little bit of dark in here,
Mm-hmm.
and then as I went to the next landmass, sort of.
I was following you when you were putting the dark in, and then everything just, because it was so wet, everything just,
Yeah.
everything just together.
Actually, I think Ethel's, if you look at Ethel's, she handled all this very well.
Okay.
And I think the only difference is, I mean, by the way, your color's beautiful. Just a little shading in here, that's all.
Yep.
Very,
Okay.
very, very
Yep.
small.
Need to go back
And
in.
if you want to give a little more variation to this.
Yep. I after listening and actually
Red.
looking at the photo, I think I want to go a little darker. There,
Yellow,
just
blue,
okay.
variations of that.
And darker, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, leave some of the light. Like this could be dark. I mean, this could be light, and then maybe some like it's exposed dirt, and then you have some rocky things happening in there.
It was fun using the big flat brush on that shape.
Oh, good.
I really had fun with that.
Good.
That's like my favorite part.
Well, good. By the way, Louisa, I just want to say thank you again for saying, are we going to handle this in wet into wet? Oftentimes I'm looking at the painting and I just want to paint the painting and I forget about technique. I don't even know which way I wanted to handle it. I know how to handle it and I know I'll figure it out when I get to it. But you mentioning that really, I think, really changed the way I would have approached this. I think it still would have been nice, but I think the wet into wet was a good call.
I sure had fun trying it at least. Yeah. I mean, I like Phoebe, I want to do this one again, knowing the steps that I need to take to get to the end.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and I visited Montreal and Quebec City. I think it was about maybe 6 years ago. So we did get to see Niagara Falls from the Canadian side. It was beautiful, really, really beautiful.
Wow. Do you guys know which side this is from?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. But this beautiful, Diane, I love your painting.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Thanks, Rob.
You're welcome. Thank you. Barbara. All right. It's interesting already. I'm just looking at this. It looks like there's some waves to your paper. Little waves in your paper.
Yeah, it was really wet.
I know, but the shadows in your paper are perfect. I mean, look at them. They look like little shadows that are in the mist.
It does, and there are some little shadows that I painted in.
Yeah, I could see them.
Yeah.
You're being helped out by the paper. So the lesson here is, when you're getting ready to mat it, don't flatten it out. Leave it wavy.
Okay.
It's a selling point too. You'll be in a gallery, right? And everybody's like, why'd you leave it wavy? Well, I got to tell you, there's a story behind that.
And I want to say I flew over Niagara Falls.
Oh.
It's wonderful to fly over it.
Oh, wow.
And look at it. You get a whole different perspective. You could see all the falls.
Where were you going?
That trip, I think we were coming from Boston back to Los Angeles.
Oh, wow. You must have been way high up there, huh?
Yes. Uh-huh.
All right. This looks pretty good. Good value here. I like these values back here. That recedes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you keep those like that and you hit a few more darks over here, not really dark, but darker than this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll get the 1, 2, 3, 4. Walking us back in value.
Okay. Yeah.
Of the land masses.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Got really nice color in here. Really nice. All these shadows are really nice. This is really nice. I could see some nice darks up in here if you like.
That's the part I didn't like, that rock to the left. You think I did it out too much?
Maybe just smack it with some dark.
Rob, can I ask you, you just said when you were talking about the background, could you just repeat what you said about having the dark and then going into the light?
Yeah, so when I put these lines on there like that, what I mean is, let's say, for instance, this here is a little bit darker in here. Maybe darker, let's say that maybe I'll put some of this in there. That's a little too dark, but let's just say that's darker. And then leave this the way it is. And I think actually leave this the way it is too. Just a little darker there. And what happens is that you get this, because values look a little bit lighter as they recede, you'll get from landmass to landmass. In other words, this batch of trees here will appear darker as a set of trees. this one, and so on, and into this back here, which would be way lighter. So that's all I mean. As things move away from your eye, they appear lighter, and especially in an area like this with all this atmosphere, even more so. So I would just really push that. Besides that, I think you're doing great.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I like your water.
Oh, great.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you might want to, if you were looking for things to play with on it, which I think is just fine the way it is. It feels like waterfalls to me. It looks great. I might hit a couple more little, like these little shadow patterns in here.
Okay.
I mean, that's really up to you. I like the way it looks, so. Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Rob?
Yeah.
Rob, I have one other question about the portraits, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
The perspective from the for the mouth is from the nose to the chin, but it's supposed to hit the lower lip or the middle of the lip?
The perspective.
And the proportion.
There's so like that. It's hard to draw on this, but that's the middle of the lips. That line right there. Is that what you mean?
No, I mean the placement of the whole mouth. The placement of the whole mouth is between the nose and the chin.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But is the line that you draw to hit the lower lip or the middle of the mouth, or does it depend on the person?
Oh no, it's the line you draw is the bottom of the bottom lip.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, not in the middle of the lips. No.
No. Okay.
That's the mistake most people make. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Sure. Okay, we got Daphne, portraits in watercolor problem on Friday. Uh-oh. Okay. Uh-oh. Let's see. Wow. Marie, nice. Nice work.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean,
beautiful.
What do you think?
Oh, well, I played with it a little bit because I wish that I had paid more attention to the switchbacks in the falls, so I added a couple in there.
I think that looks great.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be really picky here.
Good. Tear it
Because
apart.
I might put a little bit of white over this.
Oh, really? Okay.
A little, if you like. The only part of your waterfalls that could maybe use a little touch here. I'll do it in this. Is right in here.
Uh-huh.
Maybe a couple of those. Maybe I'll do it a little smaller here.
Oh, yeah. I can see what you're saying.
A couple of, yeah, you have that switch back there, right? And then maybe a couple of little shadows in there.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you take, like you did here, if you take a shadow right behind here, it'll set this foreground off.
Okay.
And I mean subtle. I mean like this. It doesn't have to be dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of those little wavy things in there. You might even want to take some of this color here, like really horizontal, really flat in there. And that might give you a little switchback. Just that green, that blue green. So in other words, so you have a switchback, and a switchback.
Yeah.
That's the area I pay attention to. This is gorgeous. All of this is, everything's gorgeous. This painting is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Even the blob in the left bottom corner there.
That's a nice looking blob. I love that blob. I mean,
okay, thank you.
It's doing all it needs to do for me. Yeah. Just this area.
Okay.
This and maybe if you want this, but this is gorgeous.
Well, thank you. With your guidance.
Yeah, right. You had a couple of chops before you came to my class. That's nice. Nice work. Nice glazing in here. Look at that. Look how transparently watercolorish that looks.
Well, this is a good subject for watercolor, let me tell you.
No, that little dab of yellow right there. I don't see. You can't teach people to do that.
Well,
that's just something you do because you think it needs it. That's beautiful.
Again, that's that quinacridone gold I have, and I just threw it in there just because I thought I could see it sort of a little bit in the paint.
You zapped it.
Yeah.
See, again, sometimes you need a little zap once in a while.
The idea of doing waves breaking, that's a good subject matter for California.
Yeah, and it's sort of the same idea, right?
Yeah.
Hey, it doesn't matter what coast you're on. Everybody loves to paint waves.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that idea.
All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Rob.
Beautiful work. Okay, Mitsuko. All right.
Hi.
Woo! You got your paint. Now, is this thick white stuff on here?
That's a splash I did with your technique with a toothbrush.
Aha! So you splashed it.
Yes, I splashed it.
And it's not dry yet? These are just wet splashes on the surface?
Maybe now it's settled, but
yeah.
When I took a picture, maybe not.
Aha. All right, cool. Yeah. You'll see lots of really famous watercolor artists using, and they'll leave little edges like this. Like a beginner might break that down because they're more interested in making it look like the image. But these little edges like this are just beautiful. I leave them. All those watercolor edges that just make you conscious that you're painting a watercolor. All right, are you having any problems with this? This is looking very watercolorish to me.
Well, I like to do more. I like to do freer, but I was a little scared. So this is tamed.
You were scared on this? Doesn't look like you were scared.
Really? I want to do more clear style.
Yeah.
The free spirit. But so I will try another.
Okay. This is. Yeah, sometimes it takes me a couple too to just to get the rhythm going. But this is looking really pretty darn loose to me.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know you really love the characteristic sort of line.
Yes, I like the abstract lines.
Feel free to do that, please.
And I use a lot of white at the end.
Yeah, you're not afraid of the white. You use it.
I like it.
Now that's pretty big in like sumi painting, right?
White?
Yeah.
Not really.
Not really? Oh, okay.
No, yeah. Actually, not used at all.
Oh, they don't use white? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, whoops. I'm drawing all over your painting. I don't know. It's beautiful. I love it. Sometimes I might make the bottoms a little flatter.
Flatter?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be totally, but anyway. Nice color. I love these beautiful warms and cools you have going on through here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. All right.
I put my signature as a part of the painting, so it's in the fog.
Ah, it's in the fog there. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fog of painting water, the fog of the falls. That's what it is. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. And we've got Gina. All right, Gina.
Hello.
look at, and you know what, you really got the feeling that the water's crashing down there. Kaboom.
I like that foamy, splashy stuff.
Yeah. Let me show everybody this. Look at this. Let's get into this. All right. Look at that.
This is the beauty of painting with acrylic, because you can actually get the texture of the foam too, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's in a sense, it's like a relief sculpture. See how this comes back over the background. See the background here, she pulls the white over it here too, really giving you dimension, and not only the illusion of dimension, but actually literal dimension, because now we're having thick paint over other paint. And if you look at see how every single thing has a little shadow to it? I mean, that really shows off the stroke. So in a sense, when you paint this thick, you're doing a relief sculpture in a way. That's what I love about thick paint. It's so good to get in here and look at all this. Look at, I know she got real thick and gloppy up in here. Look at that. Woo. That's some yum-alicious paint right there. Yummy, yummy. I want to eat it. Now you see how you're getting all this glare? And I know it's just fine for doing this class, but if you're ever trying to shoot your piece and you don't want the glare on there, well, good luck. I fight the glare all the time with my piece. I have a little way I do it. If you shoot it outside on an overcast day, that can help quite a bit. But usually you just have to play with it. You know, actually, sometimes I shoot it at an angle and then fix the angle on Photoshop.
Yeah, that would work.
I'll come over at a kitty corner. Anyway, yeah, I like the shadows in the water here down at the bottom. That looks great. And this is also what I'm talking about with the watercolor as well. See, as far as I'm concerned, the technique is working when I'm feeling the beauty of the paint as well as the image. So, and almost at a 50-50 level. In other words, I can see the beauty of the paint, the different techniques. You got a little palette knifings and brushwork maybe. This looks like it all, is it all palette knife? Maybe.
No, I use brush too, yeah.
And so you know, there's that aspect of the beauty of the paint, just the abstract quality of the paint, and then the image as well. I mean, the drafting of your images looks very nice. The way you got this color running into the white looks like water going over a fall. That is exactly what it does. Look at the way you swooped it right there. You swooped it right there. I mean, that looks like water running over the edge. So, gotta love that. Nice choice of colors back here. Love that. All right, beautiful, abstract and enough realism in there to see what's going on, and a good balance. Yeah, nice piece.
I have a recommendation for something to paint. I was driving back to Pomona to get my vaccine shot, and the snow on the mountains was so beautiful. And I would love to do a local snow on the mountains in winter painting. I love that.
Mount Baldy.
Yeah.
You know, that is perfect for this, you know, for what we're going through right now is absolutely, wouldn't that be timely?
Yeah.
You know? Let me think about that. I think that's a good suggestion for right now. I mean, I could probably look out my window right now and see it almost. Wow. It's so clear out. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Alice.
Oh, I sent you two. Could you do the second one? It says Niagara too.
Niagara 2. You sent another one? Just joking. Okay, we've got Niagara Falls, Niagara 2. And then I got to come back to Shelly. Okay. All right. We're not getting that. I can't zoom in on this a little bit. Let's see. Is it this one? There. Whoa. Okay. All right. You left a lot of white. I like that.
I really struggled with this. I used the Strathmore paper, and that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
I just could not get the colors to move to work with me.
I don't know if you have extra time, but if you want to, try it on some nice paper. I'll bet you. I'll bet you it'll work for you. Now, with this dark, it's almost feeling like a line here. So I would just kind of fade it back into the, just kind of take that line and fade it back into your foam that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, it does feel kind of linear in the piece, but
yeah, it does.
That's what I would do. Let's see now. Colors are great. I love your color. Your colors are great. Everywhere. Colors are great. All these masses. So in my opinion, if the colors are great, usually I'm a sucker for the painting. I don't care. I've seen so many technically proficient paintings that they look exactly identical to what you're looking at, and they just leave me so cold and dry. So cold and just.
Yeah.
So, as far as technical, maybe we could flatten out the bottoms of these land masses a little bit. Just there and maybe there. Just to get things to flatten out. Color, I mean, I just said the color looks great. I could see this a little bit lighter.
Okay, yeah.
That's about it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I need to do this again. I didn't enjoy myself today with this paper.
Just use this as your color rough. I mean, it is a good color rough. I mean, it's a good painting. Like I'm looking at my painting and my color rough. I think the color rough might be better, even though it's a lot looser. Maybe that's what's making it better. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
That looks pretty darn good. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I lived in Montreal for 8 years. I went to school there.
Oh, wow.
The high school there, yeah. I lived in Lachine, so.
Oh, wow.
Did you ever make it to the Niagara Falls?
I didn't, no. I wish I did.
Wah, wah, wah.
I know.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. I'll have to get over there someday. I have so many places, and even I have so many places all over the world I want to see, but I want to see America. I haven't seen very much of America, really. All right. Shelly. Nice looking color.
Hi, Rob.
Hi. Nice looking waterfalls. Any issues you're having? I think that we're doing pretty darn nice here. The way you handle this tree mass in the background is just gorgeous. Getting lighter as we get over there. Nice. Doesn't look like you used any white, did you?
No.
Huh.
But maybe I would in this fall fog area because I don't know. I don't know.
You don't have to, but the foggy stuff.
That cliff in the back, I don't know why it dropped so low, but I kind of messed up with that, but it should be taller.
Yeah, but the now it could be land mass, and then the way you put the foam over it was a good move. You disguised it.
Exactly.
Okay, and then you got this white outline. I'm thinking maybe I might soften the edge or something. Maybe do a couple little dry brush moves over.
Sure, that's a good idea.
Not everywhere, but like here, I think it works fine. But when
Uh-huh.
it starts, becoming a line, then maybe just break it up with a couple of moves.
Yeah, great idea.
The way you handle this is just great. I don't have any problem with any of this. Actually, I don't have much of a problem with your painting at all. Those are small things. And these are beautiful colors, by the way. You've got the warm and cool yellows in there. You've got little magenta, little Prussian filling on the green side, the violet in there. You threw the whole ball of wax at it.
Did.
I wonder where that saying came from. Ball of wax. Never mind.
I don't know.
Yeah. You threw the whole 9 yards at it. It's probably one of those World War II things or something. I don't know. Okay. All right. All right. Looks great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a fun experience today.
Good. I'm glad. Let's see. We did Caroline. Sorry. Caroline. It looks like a Caroline. Wow. It looks exactly what I was expecting it to look like.
Yeah, I should leave some white on
You have a style, no question. I mean, I know your style. It's very distinctive. I mean, I haven't known you very long now, but I mean, I can see your style. It's distinctive. Now, what kind of, you work on hot paper, hot press?
No, it's just Stratford, I think it's called.
Oh, because you're getting these puddly edges that usually are characteristic of a hot press paper, like these little. Is it cotton paper? Oh, that looks beautiful up close like that. Wow.
It's just what you get.
You're using the cheap paper, huh?
Yeah, it's really El Cheapo. But it's when I do layers of this very light transparent, it gives me that look.
Try some expensive paper. Splurge.
I will. I
Splurge
will.
a little bit.
I will.
mean, just
No,
to
I
see what it'll
have.
look like.
No, I have it. I will.
Oh, you do? Okay.
But I think I need to leave a little bit more white at the edge of the falls to actually differentiate the falls from the water. Right.
Yeah, more white here. Here. And you know, what you could do is use this for your shadow and maybe come up here on the top with some white. That mist. Like I said, and a couple other people's. So you got it kind of light over here and shadowy over here. So if you want to use white, that's the way I would use it. And
No,
are
I
you
was
using any
thinking
white?
where the fall joins the water, at that very edge, there is some white. And I'm thinking mine is all dark.
Yeah.
It needs a little bit of white
Yeah.
to differentiate it. But this was an excellent exercise. I'm going to redo it because I think I have better ideas now.
That is the winning attitude, everybody. That's how you get better. And what I mean by better, it's not my concept of better, it's your concept of better. You get better when you say, I can use this as a stepping stone into something better. Because I'm looking, I love a lot of things about this. I mean, especially when I get up close. I mean, to this area here in the middle. But that's what artists do. I know it's perfectionistic and nothing's ever good enough for us and all that, but that's why paintings get better. That's how you get better, is by pushing yourself a little bit. And the truth is after a while, you're not even really pushing yourself. It's something you want to do, you know? I mean, you want to get in there and do it. That's the winning attitude. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Also, Rob, I was going to say, I become better just looking at everybody else's paintings.
Isn't that great?
That is such a great learning experience to
Yeah.
see how everybody else does it. It's great.
I get to look at all kinds of paintings all the time in all my classes, and by me doing these critiques, I think it makes me better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually trying to learn through your painting a lot of times. I'm actually working out my own issues.
Like I could have done better by doing less color on the right-hand side so that I could give it a better perspective, whereas my colors are all dark, and I don't know why I did that.
You can always use white. You can always use white, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But these are what, it's good to think about what one paints. I feel like I don't think, I just paint. And maybe a little bit of thinking is a good thing.
Yeah, a little bit of thinking is a good thing, and you're also right in not thinking. See these little blue marks back here?
Mm-hmm.
Little accents. You get those by not thinking. These little guys, they're just, you look at them, you go, well, it needs a little something. You drop a little color in there. Yeah, that works. Okay, you move on. That's your intuition. Your intuition is your genius. That's where it is. But it doesn't mean that the intuition doesn't need a little analysis now and again. So,
I don't even remember when I dropped that blue. I have no clue. It just happened.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
You're unconscious when you're painting. That's and think about it. When people are talking, when they're unconscious of what they're saying, they're just talking. Mm-hmm. That's when you hear. You know too. Everybody knows when somebody's, and you also know when somebody's kind of covering up. Like a politician, or they're guarded. You can see it in the artwork, and you can hear it in the person's voice, and it's exactly the same. So I think that's what I can see in your work, the very intuitive quality to a lot of it. You're just feeling your way through things. You can just...
Thank you. I wish I had remembered the name of the lady that did the painting that I really enjoyed. She kind of went really out on the very edge on the right-hand side after the dark cliff. And she had painted just very lightly that gave it another few miles of distance, which I thought was just gorgeous, but I don't remember the name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
It was fantastic.
Everybody, make sure you yell your name out. Yeah. Oh, that was me. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, definitely me. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was fun.
You're welcome. You are welcome. Okay. Debbie. Wow. Cool.
Yeah, this is my second attempt. The first one was way overworked, so I don't even want to judge you. That I stopped where I felt I didn't know what to do next.
Well, now you're really right. What we talked about earlier, riding the edge between abstraction. I would almost call this representational abstraction. God, wouldn't this look big? Wouldn't this look good, like really huge? Something like this, just big, giant, enormous washes like that. I mean, I love an abstract piece based on reality like this.
No, I just had fun with it because the first one I was trying too hard to define things that I'm not familiar with anyhow, like, falling water or, mountain edges.
Yeah.
It's not part of my actual world, so I have no, so I just went with, paint.
Because paint is your actual world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the red, yellow, blue you've got going, the extremely intuitive, like almost out of your body way you're painting this with authority. By the way, this is a great example, everybody, of when you paint with authority, and I can feel this in every mark you're putting down here. There's nothing timid, nothing second guessed here. You put down marks with authority, they always look right. Even if they're technically wrong or they're wrong according to the photograph, or they're wrong according to some rules or whatever, you put them down with authority and they look right. They're right because you say they're right. That is the difference between modern art and traditional art. And I like traditional art and modern art. I'm sort of a hodgepodge of everything. I mean, the truth is anything goes nowadays. But that is the big lesson to be learned out of abstraction, is that marks put down from your gut with authority, they look right.
Well, thanks, Rob.
Yeah, they do. I have nothing to say about your painting except what I just said, which was a lot.
Well, I'm just going to leave it then. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
I wouldn't do anything to this. No. I'd do more. I would do more based on this.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to play around some more because, like I say, I mean, I'm not limited by my actual knowledge of the thing.
Yeah.
And I was at Niagara Falls, but I was about 6 years old, so it's a memory.
Yeah, but those early memories can make huge impressions.
No, there you go.
Yeah. I got early memories that I think are more vivid than things in my 30s. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Rob.
Thank you. Hey, Toby.
Hi there.
All right. Well, as usual, nice color. As usual, nice handling of the paint. This one's pretty large, isn't it?
No.
11 by.
I always do 8 by 10s, and it's on the Strathmore because I ran out of my arches.
And you taped off the edges. I taped off my edges today too. They look good. Looks good on the page. You know, like maybe right in here, you could soften some edges.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wanted to, maybe a little lighter there, possibly, if you want to. I think it looks okay the way it is. Now, one thing about your falls, they do fall in a straight line, almost. Yeah. So I could see just a couple more switchbacks.
Okay.
I might just, what you can do is just take this blue out. Let me try to use a thinner one here. You can just take the blue out a little bit, like you are. What you don't want to do is take this out exactly the same length as the other one. You know, it's usually not the way to go. So if you took a couple more of those out, a couple more, you'll get a couple of switchbacks, and I think that might help.
Yeah, I do need to work on that water for sure.
Are you using any white? Is this white right here?
You know, I put in some white here and there. I don't.
Yeah. Oh, there's some white. Yeah.
Just to try to work with it a little bit.
You're not fond of the white.
I don't know. I think I still haven't gotten the. Are you using watercolor?
The white isn't your friend. No.
Yeah.
Now, you probably are using a lot of water with your white. I don't use a lot of water with the white.
Okay.
Now, you'll get these really translucent effects, which they're very nice with the white. I am using titanium white gouache.
Oh, you're using the gouache. Okay.
Gouache,
yeah.
You could use Chinese white. Chinese white is more transparent. So.
Yeah, I have the watercolor. I think I mentioned that previously. I haven't gotten the gouache yet, so I need to do that.
Yeah. Okay, so that would be fun. Otherwise, I think your handling of the paint, I mean, you do this thing really well. I mean, that's just beautiful. Look at that. I mean, gosh, you could frame that. Look at that. I mean, it's a painting right there.
Find my dog in the background if you're hearing noises.
That's your dog?
Yeah, that wasn't me making noises. That's my dog.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said like this is right here was a portrait of your dog right there.
Oh, no. Sorry.
There you go, right there. Okay. Thank you. I love this. This is all beautiful, really organic, really organic. That's the spirit of watercolor right there.
Yeah, I like that front part. I thought
Yeah,
that was...
I do too. I like how you left the white in there too, just effortless. All right, thank you.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome. I need me some water. And we're at Suzanne. Okay, let me. Okay. Now I would. Are you using any white? I can't tell.
Yes, I did.
Okay. I might take some of the white out. Let me use my other little brush here. I might take some of the white out. See how they're almost going this direction?
Right.
So I might take a few of them out that way.
Okay.
And this kind of looks like it's kind of doing that too. I might, play with that mist in there. You could shoot some over that rock too if you like. But just so you don't have angles going this way. And I know I'm exaggerating it, but I would, because the water's coming in this direction, the force of the water is going to be going like this over the falls, over. So I might. It's only a couple, but try it like that. A couple of marks like that, and if your falls get too, see how they're kind of linear right next to each other? Just take a couple of them here and there and schmoop them together. Just take a little. Yeah, I did say schmoop, didn't I? I said schmoop. I watch Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld. I haven't watched Seinfeld in years, but I used Schmoopy always stayed with me. So there's that, yeah. But like for instance, now your perspective in here at the top of the fall is fantastic. Look at the way that recedes. So I'm just thinking water energy coming over the falls there.
Right. Okay.
And look at your boom. I see the recession. Yes. This is a little too dark for back there, possibly.
Okay.
So I might lighten those up a touch. And then again, see how stripy we are? Almost stripes.
Yeah.
What you can do is just take a little bit of your yellow and just break it up a little bit. Your yellow and some of the greens and whatever. Just take the tops of your trees. I do this all the time. I don't know a painter that doesn't do this. When they start getting kind of stripy, I just do things to break it up. Like pull a little bit of that over this way, maybe with a little red here, maybe put a little red into there, that way, just to break up the stripy.
Okay, got it.
In fact, I even say that to myself. Sometimes if things are too light, I'll say ghosty, or sometimes you'll hear me say scattered, but sometimes I'll say stripy. So I think these are a little stripy here, and these are stripy. Just break those up a little.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, nice painting, nice color. Yeah, nice dry brush effect on the water. Really, I like that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice work. Oh boy, we got a lot. We got Toby, Lynn. I have computer programs after update. Okay. She missed class. Oh, okay. Oh, does she want? Oh, that's my painting. She's gonna send me. I thought she sent me her painting. Oh, okay. I'll critique you online. There's Hector, second Hector. Oh, wow, Hector. Now that is a wet into wet painting, right?
Right.
I meant that was a rhetorical statement.
Yeah, I wet the back also.
Or question. Yeah.
And the front, and glued it, with just water on the back.
Yeah.
Drenching it, and on the front, I was able to put it on the.
That's beautiful, Hector.
Thank you. A board, and it stayed that way the whole painting.
Oh.
I didn't have to tape it or anything.
Wow. It's a beautiful, extremely organic painting. It's an interesting contrast here is, let me get let me get my arrows out here. Okay. Rob and his arrows, here they come. Okay, we've got all this beautiful organic stuff happening here and here. And then look at all this hard edge abstraction going on in here. And that's just the white of the paper, right?
The what?
These whites on your, that's just the white of the paper?
Yes, those are the white of the paper. And I used a large flat brush.
That'll give you that, yeah.
The whole painting.
So look at the contrast between the organic and the almost, I would call this literally geometric.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah. Only one thing kind of bugs me, and it's this edge right here. It doesn't bug me that much either.
That was pretty wet. But
yeah, I was kind of wanting it to be a little bit more like this, I guess wetter or something. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a little more free flowing. I don't know. It's not that bad though. I mean, not that bad at all.
Well, that was kind of bothering me too, and I go, should I just
What I would have done was just take water, take some water to this edge and let it just bleed out.
Well, there was pretty wet already, so.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking for maybe an edge more like this.
Yeah.
Kind of,
really smudged, really smudged.
Because this painting's so brave. We should all just give ourselves permission to paint like this. I mean.
Well, I see like the one gal that she was trying to be representational and just got all frustrated. She just said, "Forget it," and she went and she just put those marks in, and it was fabulous.
Debbie, yeah. That's.
I mean,
yeah, it sure was.
It was great.
I had a feeling you were going to make a comment about her painting. Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Because you do the same thing. You ride the edge. You ride the line between abstraction and reality.
Well, it's more fun.
It sure is.
Than putting the pressure on trying to do I know that's the way everybody is. We're trying to. I did it too. I tried to go and paint it representationally, but to tell you the truth, I couldn't do it. And so I just went the way that it feels good for me, which is just taking chances.
Yeah.
There was a lot of bleeding and pushing out and taking out and putting, yeah. But you don't get that underground stuff without that.
Yeah.
And then building on top of it, I think.
That's right. Well, I think the lesson here is that this is what I call capitalizing on the chance. You take the chance.
Take the chance, yeah.
And you capitalize on it.
Right.
There's the risk, and then there's you don't get the reward without the risk.
Right.
So that's the truth. And
Mexico's too.
Yep.
I think she's going for it.
Thank you, Hector.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. You're welcome.
But apparently not enough for her, so she's going to do it again.
Yes.
She's going.
I'm going to do it again.
I know. I thought but that is the way it gets. You know, for those of you that don't take a lot of chances, in your watercolors anyway, what happens is you just get so used to taking chances that even your paintings that look probably really risky and loose to other people, you're looking at it going, well, you got kind of timid actually, you know, and that's just the way it is. When you get used to taking those chances, you become comfortable with them. That's when the good stuff happens. Okay. Thank you, Hector.
Thank you, Rob.
George. There's the opera.
Yeah.
Operatic. That's very colorful.
Yeah.
Very optimistic. Your paintings are.
Oh, wonderful. Good.
Well, you got some pretty chunky, thick, opaque color on there, didn't you?
Well, I used a palette knife. I had a glob of white gouache, and I wanted to move it on my palette. Wow. And I picked it up with a palette knife, and I thought, well, I'm just going to put it all on with a palette knife. So I did.
You troweled it. You troweled it on there almost. Yeah. This mark right here looks like and that's basically what a palette knife is. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted that sort of a dissipating haze that goes around the edges of mist, when this is completely dry, you could just tickle the edge with a little water, and you could get a mist around that if you felt like it.
Okay.
So that's a suggestion. Because here's the thing about Georgia's paintings, and we've been working on them for a long time, is that your style is you can just tell a George painting when you see it, because of you've got your choice colors, and you got your way you go about doing things, which I've said this to many of you that have been with me for a while. It's harder to critique you because you've got your own way of doing it. So mostly I just want to ask you, are you having any issues with it? Because I'm not really.
Now that you mentioned the edge of that white foam, I want to break it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to break up hard edges. I took the photo like 3 different times, and the photo would show up hard edges better than I was seeing myself. So, yeah, I want to break that up.
Yeah.
Switchbacks, I didn't really get a lot in the falls itself.
See, okay, but stylistically speaking, you're definitely doing a more expressionist style. That's, I usually go with the person's style when I critique that kind of thing, and so I don't know if you need much, but let's see. If you wanted to, you could come back and maybe hit, a few dark marks. Maybe, let's see here. Just a couple, and then do your little, over the edge.
Yeah.
The thing with, see, I don't know. Yeah, do it in your way. Because you have this dark right here. It's probably it's probably too dark to be there, but then it doesn't look like you did it if you made it. That's what's so hard to critique people's style. Most of the time, I think teachers will just look at it and go, well, maybe maybe this doesn't, you'll hear me even say to Mitsuko sometimes, or even you, or, maybe, I'm not seeing your style as much as I usually see it. What's going on? And you'll say, oh, maybe I wasn't feeling, I was trying new stuff or whatever. So, harder to critique.
Yeah.
The less academic, the harder to critique because you're not really doing rules. It's easy for me to critique rules. You're off in La La Land. La La Land is your land. I mean, it's whatever you want to do. It's where we all want to be, I think. I want to be there more. I love La La Land. Anyway, yeah, okay, so maybe hopefully by talking about this, just talking it out with another person, sometimes you can say, okay, this switch back to something I want to do. Maybe the Misty thing, something I want to do.
Yeah.
By the way, my favorite move of your piece, this blue right here. I don't know why, that blue that's in the background.
Yeah.
I love it. It's an instinct. It's an instinct move.
That was going to be my dark back there, but it wasn't dark enough.
Yeah, but you decided to leave it.
Oh yeah, I left
instead of making it darker.
Right. Well, I added more dark at the base.
Right. Oh, by the way, did you get the memo on the Monday class?
That it is going to be hybrid, right?
Yeah, but it won't start this Monday. It's March 1st or something.
Oh, I read it wrong then. I thought you said starting next week.
You might want to call them or something if you want to, but she told me March 1st at the minimum.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you know.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Usually they would contact me first, so I was a little weirded out. And so I called them, and she said, I think she was talking about the outside classes.
Oh, but okay.
She needs to be a little more clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Henry.
Rob, you forgot mine.
Okay, let me do Henry first. Let's see. Wow, that's beautiful. Henry, have you ever painted a waterfall before?
Yeah, I was going to say next week I'm going to do the same place in Chinese painting. I just did a study during the critique. It's on my table if you can see it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful, and you know what? Your color is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
The color you have in your rocks in the foreground, these sort of blue grays to strong blues to violets. That's a great choice, and it's a great relief from the warm back here, and you got green right here, and
Yeah, I used ink to darken it.
Ooh.
He went right over mine.
I'll get you. I'll come back to you. Whoever. I'm not sure. Anyway. Nice looking trees, very intuitive, very, very, very wet into wet. Very, very atmospheric. Great perspective. You see how he's got more richness in the color up here. Let me. Yeah, more richness and more contrast. Less richness to to more faded, to more faded, more faded. That's good. I like how you went green with the water. That was nice.
Thank you.
I like green water. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's.
And look at these little puddles. These little intuitive. Look at those, beautiful. Just to get some value in there, but they look pretty. The little spots.
I used a little white on the left to cover up some missing white.
You're using a little white here?
Yeah, that's the gouache, acrylic gouache. The Holbein kind, I think you have it.
Holbein gouache, that's good gouache.
Yeah, the acrylic gouache actually is.
Oh yeah.
It's called gouache. Korea, something like that.
I like the value of this. This is looking great. I mean, well,
Yeah, the class is very educational for me.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Your paintings are pretty educational for us too.
Thank you. Yeah,
it is. It's. You know, look. Maybe you could bring this up. See how this is ending where this is?
The tangent?
Maybe, yeah, bring that up a little bit higher.
Okay, okay.
Something? I don't know.
Maybe it's a tree or something. I did I did a pine tree on my ink painting. You see, I just
ooh, yeah, I think that might be a good way to go. Yeah.
Maybe I should just add a pine tree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, this is beautiful. I love all the colors. I love the variation of, and this is what makes color fields work, everyone. It's yellow version. See how it turns a little bit redder over here, and then it gets bluer over here. So that's what makes this whole area work, is that variation of color. See, all of this too. Watch, yellowish, reddish, bluish.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it everywhere in his work.
Yeah.
You know, look.
I learned
yellow,
from
red, blue. That's what makes color work.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to bounce off each other. You need to give the variation. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, that was very rewarding from you. I learned the 3-color theory from you on day 1 when we met in Huntington, and you showed me a sculpture and saying, "What's the basic color?" I said gray. You said, yeah, great. Then you just yellow it a little bit here,
gosh, you
blue there,
that. Wow.
red there. So I remember that conversation.
You see how somebody can say one little thing?
Yeah.
Somebody could say one little thing and it was what you needed to hear at that moment, and it stuck with you. You know, I am like,
it just opened.
I am so flattered and privileged, honestly, just privileged to be there at that moment when you needed to hear that, and happen to accidentally maybe I knew right what you wanted to hear. Sometimes I say that to people and they don't hear it. And sometimes it changes their world, you know?
Yeah, you said
when somebody said that to me, I can remember when Dan McCaw said that to me, and I was about like 22 years old, and he said that to me, and it rocked my world forever. So, I mean, that's how important that little thing is to me.
That's what we call a Zen moment for me.
Good.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. That you just made my day.
You too.
Now, who was it that I passed by? Whose painting did I pass by, everybody? Somebody said I missed them.
It's close to me.
Alicia Thompson.
Alicia. Oh, you know, I see your name looks like Alice. I'm sorry. Okay, Alicia. There you go. Is it Alicia or Ali? Oh, there. I guess you know how to say your name better than I do. Hey, pretty. Nice wet into wet effects. This is what the wet into wet will give you. Is this beautiful edge. I love that edge. I like your cloud here. Okay. And you don't look, did you use any white?
Yes, I did, a little bit.
Oh, there's a little white here. Yeah. Okay. So you got this atmosphere there, right? Little atmosphere. I could see maybe with this a little bit of atmosphere over at the top, or a little mist on the top of that, possibly. If you like your falls, the way you handle them is really interesting and nice. I think they're falling into a pretty straight line, and that's not wrong.
Next week,
but
I have to cut short.
But what I might do is actually